Welcome back to GoodFlickas, home of the GoodFlickas. Can you take our critique? Let's find out as we dig into 2023's Missing. It's going to be an interesting one tonight. I am, of course, Matt, and I have thought of no clever names for this because, as I was telling you guys before, I am exhausted. So I know last week I was making an effort. No effort this week. I apologize. I've got no energy for it. So I am, of course, Matt, joined tonight with Brian.
Hey Siri, change my password.
Oh geez, this is why I turned Siri off. Yes.
Just activated my Siri.
Oh my god, that is incredible. Oh man.
Was that the point of you doing that?
This is exactly why I turned Siri off, so people could not pull that shit.
It came on my laptop, not on my phone.
That was amazing. I feel like oh god, that was good.
But you know what? That proves that at the end of the film that really works.
I mean, point proven.
I mean,
oh my god. Brian, thank you so much. There's no better way you could have started this, and freaking tastic. Thank you. With us tonight is Jen, who is not accompanied by her big bowl. There's the big bowl. I apologize. Did not see the big bowl.
It was overflowing. We had to start it.
I'm sure we'll get into what is inside the big bowl, but let's move on to joining us tonight is the bearded badass himself, who is a slave to Siri, apparently. Or maybe he's just the mom. Is your name Rachel?
My mom?
Oh, anyway, the mom in the movie. Moving on.
Oh.
Anyway, you got anything to say?
Hello.
Momentum lost. Anyway, we get a hell of an intro thanks to Brian, and then we've finished it off with me tanking, and then you just leaving it in the dirt. So I gave you an opportunity. Way to go. I'm really hoping the rap makes fun of me tonight. That's why I'm digging in on you.
I'll just cut the podcast at the end of Brian's intro, and that'll be it.
Just fill it over with like a little word blip of and Jen and Nick and Man. You know what I mean?
I'll do like the experiencing technical difficulties, and just
this is a test of our podcast programming. All right, we are talking about Missing, and Brian, this was your pick, correct?
Indeed, yes.
All right, lay it on us, man. Why Missing?
Oh, well, I mean, the classic GoodFlickas. I just turned on Netflix and it was like, hey, you might like this.
I hate this. It hurts.
No, I am totally kidding. That's not how I roll. And if you believe that, shame on you.
I did. I got excited for a second.
Yeah, right. I always have a reason for my picks. Okay. Number one, it's spooky season. And what better way than to start off spooky season with a thriller mystery type movie that wasn't gory or anything like that? Because I know how some of the crew members are here, right? So I'm like, okay, that's checking that box. Number two, I almost have a borderline obsession over things that are filmed this way. And I was reminded of it when I was watching Modern Family, and there's an episode where Claire is in the airport, and the entire episode is done through the works of her laptop. And I'm like,
I've seen this one. Yeah.
Oh my God, I totally forgot how cool this thing is. And then I saw that. I remember watching Missing when I went first time. It was on the plane to go to Europe. And I just remembered how involved I was with it. I'm like, you know what? Perfect. It's thriller. It's the same style that I like. Like, let's bring it to the GoodFlickas dome and see what we pull from it. And I think that those were kind of the main reasons as to why it's definitely a style movie that we've never broken down before. And I think it's going to bring up a really good conversation. And I just wanted to, give a little, much like the movie, give a little twist because God knows there's enough of them. Yeah. And I'm, happy to hear what people thought. I guess we'll start with Nick.
Well, I just had a thing. Because we had our animated August and then we, had a normal, regular September. For October, can we do Ominous October?
Ooh, that's a good word for it. I was like, wait,
I'm sure there might be a better one, but that's just the first one that popped in my head.
No, that's good.
Just like thriller, spooky, tense kind of movies. It's also kind of in theme with Halloween a little bit, but like ominous type of movies. Like, would you guys be on board with that? Like making that for October?
I'm down.
And it doesn't have to be like Halloween themed.
Yeah,
movies.
I had a movie planned for next week that I was thinking. I'm just debating about whether it can still fit in this category or not because I'm so down for this. I like doing the theme.
Yeah.
It's especially like it's holiday season. Why not? Let's give ourselves a little bit of theme, and it's a little fun. I'll debate on it throughout the chat. I'm down for this. It just means that either I have a movie at the end of this or I don't, in which case we'll have to figure it out in a bit. But I like that. Yeah, I like this idea. I'm down for it. Absolutely.
All right. Are we cool with Ominous October?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've already done my part.
Yeah.
You know what? You've inspired me. I'm gonna see if I can come up with like a logo or something that'd be fun for this.
Okay.
Let's theme it up. Let's theme this shit up. Yeah, let's do it, man.
Cool. All right. Sweet. Continue on. I just wanted to bring that up.
Well, I just have my thoughts, but I'm always last. So, Nick, why don't you just start us off with your thoughts?
Oh, initial thoughts. Okay. Missing. I've never seen it. First time I had heard of it, and I don't watch trailers or anything, and so I just kind of hit play. And man, when I was about 5 or 10 minutes through the movie, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of these types of things. And that's when I realized everything was essentially like a screen capture, of like a monitor or a phone, and like there was no like actual like movie cameras. It was all like iMac, FaceTime camera or like screen recordings. It's like, oh, this is going to be one of these types of movies. And I was seriously debating of like, oh, I can't do this. Like, I can't watch it. It's going to be bad. It's going to be terrible. And then it got really interesting really quick. And I think it's really well done. Like for a movie that's really just based on like screen recordings, they did a really good job. And I mean, a lot of the storytelling is through editing, like mostly through editing. Because like that's really the only way you can make a story told like this work well is how it's edited. But I think the mystery, the twists and turns, the plot, and just like the suspense of it all it's really enticing. It's really fun. And it's also really creative, like how they use the internet and digital technology. Like it's really creative and it makes sense. Like sometimes, movies like to apply like video game logic. Or I'm sorry, like video games like have a logic to them that like it doesn't make sense, but because it's in a video game, it works. Like this movie doesn't really do any of that. Like everything that's done in this film, like could happen in real life. And I think that was a really nice touch that they made sure that everything that was done was appropriate. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. It's not my favorite style of a movie, but I think it's really creative. So I gave it a 4.3 out of 5.
I'll go next. Okay, so never seen this movie, never heard of it. Shock. And like Nick, I don't watch trailers either. We just dived in. And also like Nick, I was like, oh crap. It's one of these. Like I hate it. Because especially I think it was just last week I was saying like it's nice to escape from the real world when watching a movie. And this we're very much in the world. And I think not even my world. We're like in someone else's, the modern world, I guess. But it was very creative. And what a twist. And I know we'll get into that. And the only thing that was really predictable was that the daughter was going to throw a party. Other than that, it really does keep you guessing.
Like that's what you. Okay.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree, Jen.
There's a hot take right there.
Don't disagree.
That was really the only thing that was predictable.
Yeah, I saw that one coming.
And it was good. It was good. Would I watch it again? I don't know. I don't know if I would watch it again. But I gave it, I have no clue what I'm rating this movie. Let's do it. A three.
This is how your brain works, like out loud. Like it's
Yes.
let's do.
I think Jen just,
let's do.
I think Jen just set her brain into recalculating mode 4 times.
There's a lot of factors to put in. I get it.
A 3.68.
Oh, yay.
Why not a 3.69?
You know what? I kind of consider it a victory when Jin gives a score that's like real middle of the road.
Right.
Because it's not like clearly you have strong feelings about this movie because you couldn't just go like straight 10 out of 10 or like a -5 or anything. So like okay. I'm looking forward to talking about this movie. It is not it's not one I've seen before. I'd never heard of this movie. I didn't watch the trailer in the sense of like I actually watched the trailer. I was looking it up and the thing was scrolling through as it does on Netflix. It was playing and stuff. And I was able to see enough to be like, okay, so this is gonna be like a lot of computer. It's gonna be like computer screen stuff, like that kind of webcam footage is gonna be one of those. Got it. Like mentally, I'm prepared for that. I know that it's gonna happen. I know that's what it is. Cool. And then the movie starts, and Brian, like you mentioned, my first thought was the Modern Family thing, which because I just finished that series for the first time not too long ago. I have seen that episode, and it's brilliant. It was really, really well done. It was so cool how they did it, and I think that this movie took that idea and like I'd say they perfected it. They'd perfected it. I hate it. I hate the style. I could not stand it after 30 minutes. It's really, really well done. It's so well done that I think it has an incredible story, but because it's entirely through the screen, like the view of a screen, it made me feel like I was at work, and it made me feel like I was staring at a computer screen. Like it legitimately did. And I'm like, I can't wait for this to fucking end. I hate this so much. Like that's what it felt like. It was killing me. But with all of that, like it's just the style that I hate. The story is really, really good. We talk about twist. Holy shit. The amount of times that I was like, oh, this is but wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. And like, Jesus, it's like, I love that I could never predict really what was going to happen, where it was going to go. I also could never quite figure out what kind of movie this was going to be. Like it literally just kept me guessing. And the story again is so well written. They do such a great job with the acting, and even with the moments where it's just a mouse moving on the screen, the pause that move the weight, the details in this movie are done so well. And again, I hate it. but I can tell that the artistry of this movie, the style of it, it's designed to where everything is on screen for a reason. Everything happens for a purpose. There's meaning behind everything. And I love that you could probably pause this movie at any moment and find some sort of hidden detail that you'd be like, oh, that's interesting. That may have nothing to do with this story or has everything to do with this story. I'm guaranteed that there's so many hidden Easter eggs in this movie simply because of how it's made. So I'm very, I'm very passionate about my thoughts on this one. I'm really looking forward to seeing this, talking about this movie with you guys. But Jen, I'm so spot on with you as far as thoughts. 3.75. Like I flirted around 3.6, but like it's the reason I'm so harsh on it is simply because an hour and 50 minutes of staring at this screen felt like being at work and staring at a screen for 2 hours, and I couldn't do it. Like it drove me insane. I made it through, never paused the whole thing, but God, it was too much. It was too much. So not my style.
That sounds like a personal problem.
It is. Matt. It is, and that's why I'm allowed.
That shouldn't reflect the creativity of the film. That just sounds like a you problem.
I'm pretty sure I just praised the shit out of the creativity of this movie. I just fully admitted that I hate the style. I don't think
like
it was bad.
A little too real for you, huh? Yeah.
I can't do it. It's why I hate office job. It's staring at a screen all day is my fucking nightmare.
Dude, you played D&D for like 5 hours straight. Like what?
And I hate having that stare at the freaking screen. It's so nice getting to play in real life now. I get to roll real clickety clacks. I get to play like real D&D. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Every time our good flick pod ends, Matt says, "Thank fucking God I don't have to stare at that screen anymore."
We take breaks. I get to get up and walk away. Like I need to get away from the screen. An hour and 50 minutes straight is oh
God.
It hurts my eyes.
I just like to imagine like every time Matt, he clicks like end meeting. He's like, God, thank you. It's over.
Like the scene from Wolf of Wall Street when I forgot it's the character, but he's trying to watch a show and the phone rings and he's like getting pissed off, like, who calls at 7:00, blah blah blah, and then he picks up, hello, and it's
it's Rob Reiner. It's like his dad or something, isn't it? Oh God.
And then he hangs up. I can't believe it. Now I'm in my show.
I haven't even seen that movie. That's really funny.
I will take that.
Have we done? No, I don't think we have.
Wolf of Wall Street? No, we've brought it up a couple of times, but
we
it's
have not
Leo
done
month.
the Wolf yet.
It's not Leo month.
Oh man.
Leo month. All right. Wow. Just interesting comments thus far. Apparently, it sounds like I'm on my own little island when it comes to the format of this movie. Like I said, I absolutely love it. I think it's so cool. I don't have a desk office job though, so I'm wondering if that kind of has a link to it. I'm not sure, but I really think it's cool. And here, this may be a really hot take, but I think for crime shows or anything like that, not making it the whole episode or the whole movie, but when you're starting to do like research and things like that, throw us into your research, because you get so more involved into the case by doing it. So maybe, like I said, maybe it's not the whole thing, but if you're just for a brief moment that they're doing the research, rather than giving me like the above shot of all the cameras and everything, throw me into that computer and let me see what you're looking at and what you're discovering. Because I think that really just brings like the interaction with the viewer to a whole nother level when it comes to helping solve the mystery or figure out who did. I mean, there's like all these crime shows, current ones that have made in the past. And I can certainly think of like CSI New York. If they had this style, it would just make the crimes just so much more interesting and everything. So that's just my little advice on that. As far as missing goes, this is a movie that certainly did catch my attention, and I really do like it. I think it's just one of the greatest Apple advertisements they could have asked for, and it's the story that you guys already said it. The story is just so interesting. You think you got it, and then they're like, no, here's a twist that you didn't see coming, and you're like, oh, now I'm on to you. Now I'm on to you. Where'd you go? I was on to you. Unless you're Casey, who like when we're watching, he's like, it's him. I'm like, you've got to be how? And she's like, just did. I just know it. I'm like, all right, we'll see. And then she's like, see. I'm like, okay. But what?
She guessed it.
She guessed it on the plane. And I'm like, no, that's not him. And then lo and behold. Anyway,
when did she guess? Like when did she guess right? Like
Uber driver.
Okay, once she saw that, she was like, oh, that's the dad.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, Mrs. You never watch movies, and I like live my life watching movies. I'll change my profession.
People, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, she's the people watcher. Capricorns. But overall, though, I thought it was a super enjoyable movie, and I've watched it 3 times this year already, and I never really got tired of it. So I guess that pretty much told me enough. I can't wait to talk about it. I think the acting is incredible in this. Like, you can draw off emotions left and right on different areas, different thing. The score is just on point. The music behind this thing is just, it is so perfectly toned depending on the scene that you're watching. So it had a lot of great things about it, and I gave it a 4.7.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right there with you where like if I like that this movie did such a good job of this style that it proves that it can be done and done right. Like, how many times do you see, especially like in 2000s, where like social media is really blowing up, where you get the Twitter feed or the Instagram feed, like you get these moments of social media in film that always look cheesy and weird, and like it's never quite right. This is a movie that's entirely on a computer screen, and or
they're like fake accounts that are trying to mimic the real deal.
Yeah,
which,
true,
like Photogram or something.
Yeah, it's something that's a super obvious knockoff kind of deal, and it's
exactly
like, it seems like a cheat. Like, if you're gonna come up with something fake, at least make it look real. But
like, I remember when they started to put the text messages on the movie, and I was like,
yeah,
genius. This is so smart. Like, why haven't we done this? And then it just kept getting better.
Sherlock did such a great job of that kind of thing, of like having little moments like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm totally behind using this style in cinema, in television, in doing it, but doing it right. Like using it for a storytelling like pathway as a full medium. It's rough for me. An hour and a half, 2 hours of this, it's just too much, because it gives me that I'm on a computer vibe, and I'm just not one of those people. But it is really clever, and they did such a great job. It's just not for me in this one. So I feel like you guys are all upset with me about, or like, God, it irked me. But I really, really like this story. Go ahead, Nick.
I hope, Brian, you have some fun facts about the making of some of like the content in this movie, because
it's too new. He's got nothing.
I know it sounds like he's got nothing.
He's got nothing.
But I mean, I guess maybe then just for discussion, like how they made because like Matt, like what you're saying, like a lot of the stuff that's like on the computer is real. Like it's real clicking, it's real programs, real websites and stuff. I'm just curious, like how did they create all of the like the news articles and like headlines about these characters, and like the Twitter comments from accounts and stuff, because that stuff looked really real. And I wonder, like, did they make like fake web pages, or did they have actual people, like actors, tweeting from like their actual accounts to like make it look authentic and real. And I'm so curious about that process of how they created that material. So I thought maybe there were some fun facts about that, but guess not.
I have theories, but there's no point in sharing those right now.
Yeah. No, we can get into it. But,
Yeah. What do you got, Jen?
Oh, I was just gonna share that all of that June was doing, that was like super advanced technology, and that's all I was like, oh, like she's pulling up 20 million tabs. Like it was fascinating. Like that you can do all that stuff on the internet now. I'm like the 80-year-old of the group tonight, guys. I don't know anything about the internet.
I think what was most impressive was how much she did with like $50 left.
That was impressive.
I think to summarize what Jen's saying is if our mother is ever kidnapped, Jen's not going to be very helpful.
Oh, with the internet.
Yeah. Oh man.
Cool. Are we ready for fun fact song?
Was that a precursor of what's about to happen? Like, is that the style of rap you're going for tonight?
Fat fun. But no, I was just having my word twist up.
Fact up.
I fact up, you guys.
These are the
actually, Brian. That needs to be your slogan. Like, all right, I'm fact up. Like you're ready to give the facts.
No,
I'm fact up.
Great.
No. And then if I don't believe a fact you say, I'll be like, you need to back that fact up.
Oh, that
and like show me the source.
Yeah,
like, back that fact up. Come on, these are too good.
No, the big one is shut the fact up. That's mine.
Yeah. Which is what you're telling me now.
People start to frustrate me. That's what you're going to get hit with every time.
I got the grapes, so I shut myself up.
Good job. You stuffed those like a dirty squirrel.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Brian's got fun facts. Jen's eating chili mac. Matt's got a hairy back, and my beard is badass. This movie is missing, but we found it streaming on Netflix. I'ma tell you about it. Grace Allen, Kevin Lynn, where they been? We haven't seen them since they were away for a trip. The daughter's on the internet, and while she is searching, she gets a live photo of a woman on a turbojet. And now I won't say the rest because that would be a spoiler. Now let the fun facts commence.
Nice.
I wrote that in like 2 minutes.
Well done. It's a good intro.
And I did rehearse it, so yeah, whatever.
But you didn't go. You're not giving away any of the juicy stuff. But you know, we will spoil this. So if you're listening to us and you haven't seen it, there will be no secrets left behind.
For the record, it should be an understanding when you sign on to watch anybody's critique of a movie that it is inherently filled with spoilers.
I agree.
I don't recommend you don't watch this movie before, watching us. Watch the movie, then watch this. I said that so poorly.
You said don't watch the
I
watch the movie
myself
before this, but then watch the movie before this or something.
I confused myself.
But the takeaway is watch the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Also,
you just don't know when.
Also, I realized that the mom's name is not Rachel. Rachel was the lady that impersonated the mom. I goofed. That's been bothering me. My bad. Move on to fun fact.
Yeah. Watch the movie, then watch us, and then subscribe, and then follow us on Twitch. Press a like. Donate to our bank accounts.
To our bank account.
What are we doing? A Goodflickas Kickstarter?
Yeah. Send us money, please.
Money, please.
Money, please.
All right. So, Missing came out this year, 2023. It's a baby. Directed by Nicholas D. Johnson and Will Merrick. So co-directors. Also, it is their directorial debut. This was their first movie.
Good for them.
More about that, or more to come, but that's where I'm going to do it so far. Your actors, you've got Storm Reed, who plays June, aka Junebug.
Oh,
Joaquim de Almeida, who's Javi.
Javi. I liked Javi.
I'm sure he looks familiar did he look familiar to you guys? I mean, I can think of several things that he's in, but
He did, but I don't know what.
I mean, right off the bat, here's the thing. This one, he's like super nice, but there's other times where he's been like the almost like drug cartel type deal. So he's more on the bad side. The one that I can really think of is 24. I think his character's name is Hector, but so he definitely goes, either direction, but he's definitely a well-known actor. I think he's more of like a recognize him by face, don't really know his name type deal.
Hector is like the most drug cartel name ever.
Yeah.
It's-
And then you've got Ken Leong, who plays Kevin. And that's really the three. Oh, I guess I can. What?
Question.
What's up?
You always wipe yourself off. You're bleeding, right? For rush hour.
Oh
I don't
God,
think
I don't
so,
think
but
that's
if-
him. But
man, if
you
that was
might be
him,
right.
That's
me-
a hell of a connection because I didn't
I
catch that.
recognized him
So,
from other things, but that's a good call out.
are you looking, Matt?
Yeah,
Okay.
And he's in Lost. I'm watching that right now.
that is absolutely him.
That's
I knew it.
that's
That's-
wow.
That's absolutely
Bravo.
him.
I completely missed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it Ken Lang? Wang? Ken Lang?
Ken
I'm going with
Leong.
Lang. I'm going with Lang. I don't know. Yes.
I went with Leong.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
And then the other one I'll throw out is Tim Griffin, who plays James Allen, the father.
My father.
All right. So our lovely score that we're giving this one is 4.11 out of 5 stars.
I agree with
So,
that.
Creeping over the 4. Good job, guys. I'm happy with that.
I agree with,
You're not gonna get the wrath of me.
Okay.
Letterboxd is 3 out of 5. IMDb 7.1 out of 10. And Roger Ebert 3 out of 4 stars. Yes, Jen.
Isn't 411 tech lingo for information?
It is, yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you for bringing us back to the 90s.
You're welcome.
The budget, $7 million.
Wow.
Yeah. I was a little surprised. And worldwide gross was 48.7 million.
Oh, that's not
So,
bad at all.
good job, guys.
Yeah.
First movie and really hefty profit. We won't know anything about Oscars and Golden Globes, but I can give you a spoiler alert. There probably won't be any. I would be really surprised if this thing gets nominated for anything.
I mean,
I would say maybe for editing. But
That was the only thing I was thinking.
Yeah.
But I think
Maybe
even then, that's a
sound.
long shot.
maybe like
Sound,
some
yes.
editing, and because I mean the score of this is done really well too. It plays like we didn't talk about that in our opening thoughts, but the score does a really good job. Okay,
It's like he doesn't listen to me.
yeah, Brian said that, Matt.
one
It's
person,
like he
one
ignores
person.
everything. Why does
One
he even
person
show
brought it up.
He
I
just
said
ignores
we-
us and then says what he wants to say.
It's like he has 2 giant speakers over his ears and he chooses to ignore it.
Are you talking?
He was too busy trying to make his grape into wine.
The water didn't work.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time. I did mention the score. I thought it was incredible.
I was just saying, it's like we didn't really talk about it. You talked about it, but we didn't really talk about it. Gee. Keep the fun facts. Oh, we're good.
Well, we also haven't talked about any of the scene in the movie too. Are we going to complain about that as well? We're in the intro, rookie.
I love the statement. Well, we talked about it, but we didn't really talk about it. Like, come on.
It's like back in middle school. I like her. I don't like her.
Yeah. Like, I like her, but I don't like her.
You two are icky,
All right.
and you've got the worst cooties ever.
Dude, Brian and I are like the class clowns, just bullying
100%.
Matt.
I'm
in class
constantly
right now.
joking on this thing. Are you kidding me? All right, so there's been a lot of talk about this. So it's basically been categorized as a standalone sequel to 2018 Searching. This is a movie that I have not seen. The title is not 2018 Searching, just for the record. It's called Searching. Came out in 2018. Ironically, it was the directors are the people who created and I believe wrote or produced Searching. So people are kind of like, so you took a project and then you worked on it and then you're like, I'm just going to do this again. But it's not an actual sequel. It's just more of like along the same lines. And it's basically a father looking for his daughter. And the father is, I forgot his actor name, but the one
John Cho.
What?
John Cho.
John Cho, from most likely recognized in Harold and Kumar.
Or American Pie.
Or American Pie. Yes, Nick.
He gave us MILF.
I saw this. I did when I was giving my initial thoughts. I had remembered that I had seen another movie that was like Missing, and yes, Searching is the title of it.
So you've seen this one?
Yeah, but like when it came out, so it was like 5 years ago.
Okay, because I know that they also kind of do an homage to Searching in the beginning of Missing, where the episode that they're watching is the actual storyline of Searching. Make sense?
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you get the connection there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so I haven't seen it, but knowing that it's now definitely on the radar. And I will be, looking for it, waiting for it to come out. So, Netflix, if you're gonna have Missing, you might as well put Searching, get on it. Netflix listens to us too, in case you guys didn't know.
When you mentioned Searching, I had to look it up. I remember when that came out, and I remember not wanting to watch it for the same reason I've been complaining about this one.
Searching was completely just under the radar for me. I never heard about it until today.
If it's by the same people, I imagine like it's equally as good or on par or close to. But it's cool to find out that this is a sequel. Like that's.
Have you seen
fun.
the title cover of Searching compared to the title cover?
It's the exact same.
It's like almost, yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
Spot the difference. One's male, one's female. Other than that, it looks pretty accurate to me. All right. This first screened at Regal Cinemas as a Monday mystery movie on January 9th of this year.
Okay.
So, I just knew I was on the right move when I picked this one for the mystery style October. So we're going to have our own little Monday mystery movie discussion tonight on Monday.
Nice.
Good job, GoodFlickas. We know what's up. I looked for it after reading this and I still couldn't find it. So whoever did find this, congratulations. You are insanely good at looking at details in movies, apparently. Did you notice Junebug's computer has news articles about a potential alien invasion at the same time that all of this is going on?
Oh, was it like a tab?
Yeah, exactly. It was like on her computer. It's like you've got like Missing Grace Allen, blah, 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 blah. And now also we could be being abducted by aliens soon.
Jeez.
And then the last, did you notice? And this is one that I actually discovered. It's not a fact that I saw. It's something that I noticed, and I'm like, I didn't even read this in the facts, so I'm proud of myself on this one. That June's laptop was about to die towards the very, very end of the movie.
Yes, I
caught
noticed
it. I was
because
like,
when she
oh,
goes
shit.
to pack up,
Third time I caught it. It was the third watch that I caught it because I knew what to, all that stuff. But yeah,
I noticed because she you see her holding her charger. She makes a point to like disconnect her charger, and then she goes back onto the laptop, and then she gets taken. But yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah, it said like on the very upright, it said like needs to be June's laptop needs to be plugged in or something. I forgot. It's like some basically power warning, and I was like, oh, this really got down to the wire.
Yeah. Well, that was the whole like she was giving up, and that's why it was pointless. And her doing the whole Siri bit was like such a big deal that it worked because she had such little time. They were going to get trapped there and nobody was going to find them if she couldn't get a hold of someone. And then they do that clever twist, the next twist, which we'll talk about when we get to it. So it's like,
I'm sure there's comments on these for sure. That's it, guys. Like I said, it is not a lot of fat on this one.
Sounds like you're missing some facts.
How many missings are we gonna do today?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. No. Does anyone have anything that they know about that I didn't mention? Or yes, Nick.
I had kind of like a did you notice thing too that
sure
I just happened to notice. I saw that there was like a bookmark on her browser that said UC Davis on it. Did you guys see that?
No.
I thought that was an interesting touch because Matt, you said earlier that for something like this movie, like everything on the screen means something.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning, like she's 18, like she's like, most likely has prospects to go to college, and they're based in LA, right? And so she's probably figuring out like where to go to school. And UC Davis is, in our neck of the woods. And like, I just love little details like that because it just adds to the realism of it all. This girl, like she probably has like a bookmark tab of UC Davis because maybe she's like applying like applications or like to their main website or whatever to get enrolled. But it's like they do kind of show it for like a 1 or 2 seconds, and it's kind of like middle-ish of the screen. But I just like touches like that. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, I wonder because I didn't pay attention to it at the end, but you can see that she's in her dorm or whatever, and she's going to be coming home. I wonder if there were like UC Davis, like if it like that's somewhat of an Easter egg of like she's going to UC Davis.
Yeah, that's my guess.
I'll tell you one thing.
The next time you watch it, let us know.
I'll tell you one thing. Wherever she goes to college, her college essay is going to be incredible.
I saved my mom.
Yeah. I saved my mom from another country.
You know, like they always sit down and say, okay, so why you? What makes you different? Like impress us. Here we go.
Yeah.
What was the fake show that they had like a
Unfiction.
She's so dumb.
Unfiction.
So dumb. Unfiction. Yeah. So I was on Unfiction. There's an episode of Unfiction about me. College done. Give me my I've made it. There's nothing more you can give me.
Yeah, I wish I had more for you guys, but that's about it.
No, I mean, hey, newer movies are it's always slow to the facts, right?
Yeah.
So what you gonna do?
And does anyone have any blanket topics to go regarding this thing or questions?
Do we want to take a break first, or?
Well, we're not quite at the hour. If we wanted to push it a little bit, I figure since you guys like going into scenes of the movie and whatnot, pretty quickly. Why not just hit up the very beginning? A very good place to start.
Yeah, we can rock that out.
Why don't we say our scene, right?
So the
And then
title
give it
for
a
my
try.
scene is Mirror Mirror.
Mirror, mirror.
Oh, I think you and I might have the same scene. Interesting. Okay. So does Matt now say a little bit more about it, or does we just mirror mirror?
Well, we all need to know what the scene is that he's referencing.
Do we?
I can't figure out what the scene is.
I think it's more fun if it stays a mystery and then we go on break.
Cool. I like that.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Mine is paging Grace Allen.
Okay. Mine is we're live.
We're live.
Whole fucking movie's live.
Wait, did you say we're live or we're
Like-
alive?
We are live. Like we're
Oh, we
live.
are live.
Yeah, we're live.
I don't know any
All
of
right, so
it.
we've got probably 3 mysteries going on right now.
That's
Yeah.
you know what though? That's the beauty of this movie with all of its twists. Is it's
True.
just mystery
It
contained.
is very true.
Well, mine's not mysterious.
That's why we saved
Hi,
the best for
Dad.
last, Jen. What was it?
Hi, Dad.
All right.
Okay.
That's
okay.
not mysterious at all. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I like this. I like having a little bit of mystery, and then
Yeah.
we talk about it later. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, let's take a quick break while everybody ponders what scenes we're talking about, and see if we can guess right. Welcome back to GoodFlickas, home of the GoodFlickas.
Oh, whoops.
Take our critique. Hopefully we're gonna be getting started with missing, but we're coming back to like some fun energy. What is happening right now with Brian and you guys? Like, he's just over here doing his thing, and like you guys are questioning, like, what are you doing?
I just
I don't know, man.
I want to
Done
know.
with-
I want to know, Brian. What are you doing? Since we can't see your screen like this movie, we because we're not going to.
I was
like that. Like
it wasn't sitting right when I said that his name was Hector in 24, and I was right. So I was looking it up. It is his 24 character was Ramon Salazar.
So you get it. This is how I felt when I got the mom's name wrong, thinking it was Rachel when
Yeah,
the impersonator played the mom. Or I get it. I'm with you, man.
but I'm also kind of looking into like what else he's done, and I mean, this guy has a lot on his IMDb.
Lay it on me. I'm gonna start looking because he looks familiar.
Yeah, he's the West Wing. He did one episode in the Batman TV series. He did 7 episodes in Wanted. So a lot of
This is the guy who
TV
played
stuff.
Javi, right?
What?
This is the guy who played Javi.
Yeah, Hobby.
Joaquim de Almeida.
Anyway, I mean, he has
Behind
he has
it,
a lot. He does like a lot of TV stuff. Archer, The Mentalist.
Oh,
That's right. He was in Fast Five. That's another one that I recognize him from. He was the one that was killed on the bridge.
spoilers, bro.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm scrolling through his stuff right now.
Anyway, that's enough about him.
He is no good for like he's been in a lot of stuff. Like you said, I think they call them character actors, where like you recognize their face, but because they always play such strong characters, like you know them for like, oh yeah, they were that role. Oh yeah, they were that role.
Right.
You don't remember the actor.
You don't know your actor's name.
remember
It's just
role.
their face and what they look like.
mean, he's been in so much. I'm still scrolling through stuff.
And then you go and try to see like, now where have I seen him from? It's like, well, actually, where have I not seen him from?
This is what I love IMDb for. Is like, it's like, where do I know them from? Boom, IMDb app. Constantly spend my time.
Really good actor.
But okay, I got to stop for a minute and like let's actually get this going. So we've had a little bit of time to think about the titles. If you guys figure like, yeah, do you feeling towards anything? Still anyone's guess? All right.
I still can't figure out Mirror Mirror.
Oh, good. Like okay, sweet.
I can't.
I think Mirror Mirror is my scene as well.
Which is why
What was the title for yours?
Confused by your title with you saying that, knowing what
You really gotta. It's a play on small facts of the movie. Is what I did.
Can you remind me what it was? It was something Grace, right? It had Grace.
Paging
Grace.
Grace Allen.
Paging Grace Allen. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, let's ponder on actually, you know what? Let's say everybody. So we got mine was Mirror Mirror, Paging Grace Allen. Nick,
We're live.
We're live. And Jen, what was it? It was
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad. Yep. All right. So
I also titled the scene that you're talking about, Jen. I'll say it when you start talking about it though.
all right.
It's not cool. It's hi, Dad.
No, it's actually better.
A little bit better.
Ooh, shots fired.
I'm
All
not
right.
surprised.
But let's get into missing. And what better place to start than the very beginning? A very, very good place to start. And that being said, I don't remember the beginning of this movie. I remember
It was an episode of Unfiction.
well, there was it an episode of Unfiction, or was it was because it was bookended at a certain point where it's like we got the start of the film towards the end of the film, didn't we? Okay. So
The start of the film is the 2008 video of them in the house.
and it's the editing of it,
Correct.
which we would now know as the mom.
Grace.
The mom.
Sarah at the time.
Yes, it's her doing that before.
Correct.
Because
Like-
spoilers to come. Got it. Okay. Yes, I'm with it now. That is the beginning of the movie. Okay.
Because they're on the Windows, like the Windows computer.
Yeah.
Because it's back in like 2008 or whatever.
Yes.
And then they go to the Mac computer later. Yeah.
So yes. So any thoughts on the beginning of this movie? Like now that we've confirmed and refreshed my mind on what it actually was. Yeah, go ahead, Jen.
No, my first thought was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yes. Thank you, Jen.
I am definitely alone on this.
You know what it kind of reminded me of in a weird way? Like it did take me back to like the 90s. So like was it You've Got Mail was a good one where they spend like time like on chat lines kind of thing. It did kind of remind me of being on those computers, like Windows 98 kind of deal.
Oh yeah.
So it did kind of take me back.
AIM.
But what they did really well.
No.
Sorry, I missed what you said.
AIM.
AIM?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar.
AOL
Instant messaging.
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought you were like referring to a movie title. I was
I
like,
still remember my screen name.
wow. I can't remember the numbers to my old address, like my first address and stuff. My brother Josh remembers freaking address and phone number of every place we've ever lived.
I've got same.
Like
I can say the same.
can't. I'm not. I don't have that kind of stuff. It's gone.
I remember my aim.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Mine was
I'll never tell.
MNKYBOY.
Don't give stuff away. Blah, blah, blah.
Please.
Dude,
I don't use it for anything.
did you watch this movie and know nothing? Like, you're giving hints for
Once
people
again,
to break down.
MNKYBOY
Fool.
number 8RB.
You
Just give your social security out too. Like,
You know
while
what
you're
that
at it.
means? You know what that says?
Enemy of the state.
Monkey Boy
Who's
Skater
missing?
B.
Like,
Monkey
you
Boy
learn
Skater
nothing.
B.
You're gonna, Jen. He's gonna show up on an episode of Unfiction, and who's gonna blame? It's him. Brian,
Like next week, Brian's like not going to show up, and we're gonna wonder like his camera will be on, and then we'll
finally
watch
got
him
the
like
formula right. And you're gonna tempt fate and get yourself kidnapped. Why?
like somebody like in an hour like walks through the door behind Brian and like does like the bag and like pulls him out.
This is ominous October. Why would you? Why? This guy.
Brian Walsh lives at 277 Main Street, Oakland, California, apartment 13.
You know, and why do I feel like yes, right? And it's this week is Friday the 13th. Come on, man.
Actually, Nick, I believe I live on 13th Elm Street.
Okay, guys.
Come at you, boy.
Yeah.
Okay. I know we should talk about missing, but let me ask a question. Let me take a poll here. So there was a 4-year-old, and we were together, and there was a little Mike Myers plush toy, and she takes it and she's like, "Oh, Mike Myers," and I was just like, how do you know who that is? Like, you're 4 years old. Too young to know who Mike Myers is and what he does, or am I?
That's a little young.
That's what I would think. I was like,
great movie, but that's a little young.
Yeah, like what movies did she watch to know
Grandma
him?
says she's playing Halloween for her. I'm like,
I was gonna say it's Halloween.
okay. Why are we watching Halloween with a 4-year-old for entertainment? I don't know. It seems a little off.
Oh man, it's so one of Nick and I's buddy Cody is a huge horror film fan. I mean, like, I know his parents are huge horror film fans too. So it's like I imagine it's an experience, because I don't know. I'm not gonna say that it's wrong. What I will say is I am not going to plan to watch horror films with my kid when they're that age. Also, I watched Jaws at such a young age and it still left me a bit weird. So, I mean, I don't like the ocean.
Matt's like, that bath is looking pretty suspicious right now.
I'm just gonna say, like, I have feelings.
Where'd my rubber ducky go?
When I'm a parent and that time comes around, probably not.
I was shocked.
Yeah, no, 4 is a little young. I mean, it's the premise of Halloween.
He knew Freddy Krueger too.
He's stalker. He commits murders. He's basically a crazy evil entity. There's nudity in it. Like, I don't know, man. That's 4's rough.
Also, I just want to say, Jen, when you first said Michael Myers, I thought you were talking about the actor Mike Myers. I was like, there's a doll of the actor Mike Myers, and how does she know him?
Is that worse than
I don't know which one is worse.
Oh, behave.
See, that's the difference if it's Austin Powers, but what Nick is
right.
They flush Mike Myers, and that is kind of odd and a little terrifying.
I had a feeling you meant Halloween Mike Myers.
Yeah,
I know exactly.
Yep.
Somebody had told me, he's like, well, it's like, well, it teaches them not to talk to strangers. I'm like, okay, it's a stretch. That's a really big ass stretch.
Well, I will say,
and Jigsaw teaches them not to play with games.
Exactly.
Yeah. How about the Monopoly?
How to be a good team player. That's what Saw is all about. Jeez.
in a weird way, they do call Michael Myers the boogeyman.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it's a way to, like, I don't know, kind of like scare them a little bit, but also make it fun.
to make it fun.
No.
Yeah.
Some people find horror films and scary stuff fun, and it's not, I guess, would you say, of the norm, but I don't know. I'm like a huge Addams Family fan, so like I love the weird macabre kind of stuff. Like I love Halloween for it. So I don't know, but like horror stuff, slasher films and things like that's always weird for me. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's one where I'm like, I have a hard time seeing the artistry that everybody's talking about with this movie because it's a dude chopping people up and wearing them. It's like it's intense.
It's
part
more
of-
eerie because it can become
It is
it
true.
can become true, you know,
It's true.
or it is true.
It's all
Exactly.
based off the same guy that Psycho is. Like,
Right.
It's Ed Gein.
Or Zodiac.
No, well, Zodiac's a different guy, but yeah.
I watched part of that movie because I was about to be in El Paso, Texas. So I was
Oh
like,
no.
what?
That was not a smart move.
You guys know I'm superstitious. Why do you do this to me?
I had to live a little.
Were you just doing like dead stares to every cornfield you drove by?
I don't remember El Paso, Texas very much.
It was through it was through fingers. It was hard to see a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
Well, speaking of fingers and how they're great on keyboards.
Oh,
Okay. Derailed so far from the beginning. I'm not sorry about it. But
I just saved us.
it took me a second.
Is there anything else that anybody wants to talk about at the beginning? Like, we haven't really gotten into it. Like, yeah, go ahead, Nick.
I'm still curious about the nosebleed thing. Like, I'm just not too sure why that was such a big prominent part of that scene when the dad's nose starts bleeding. Like, I know they make it a big deal of like when
Dude,
fucking Grace, right?
Sarah, whatever. Yeah, we'll go
I
with
know she has different names, but she's like, again, come on. Like she's like bad mouthing him like for something that he doesn't have control over.
Oh, you don't
Right? Like she
understand.
just
You
don't
missed
understand
the mark
why-
on that one, my dude.
Yeah, you don't understand what the nosebleed actually was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious if you guys kind of had any sort of explanation for it.
I think Jen's got
Jen?
it.
John's got it.
I think. No, I don't know. But later on, we find out that drugs are involved. And so when I heard that, I was like, oh, coke addict for sure. Too much powder up the nose. And that's why she came off as like, no, at first I was like, why is she so aggressive? I was like,
Yes, yeah.
Like I didn't know. I was like, why is this woman's nuts? Like, I was like, she's just so angry. And
Jen's like, he's gonna go missing.
yeah. It was insane. So anyway, that, and then that's how I connected. I was like, oh, nosebleed drugs.
For sure. Riding the white pony.
And the crazy ass mood swing.
I had no idea that like Coke does that.
Oh yeah.
If you do too much of it, oh yeah.
A little
What
too
was
many
that?
too many bunny hill rides.
What's that one movie, Jiggy, about Motley Crue? What's that called?
Oh, hang on.
I watched it like 90 times with Fletch.
I just had it. It's one word.
Yep. And it's a small ass word.
It's a small ass
What is it we're trying to figure out with Motley Crue? What is it we're trying to figure out?
The dirt.
The dirt. Watch that. You'll learn all about drugs.
Okay. Okay.
Motley Crue.
We don't promote drug usage here, but learn about them.
I don't really think I had any initial thoughts about the intro. I thought it was cool that we were brought into an incident that happened in the past, and so you instantly are wondering, it's like, okay, is this going to be
Incident, but it sounded like incident.
no, I said incident. that happened in the past, and then you're kind of like, you put it in the back of your head, you're like, ooh, this may be symbolic for some reason. It's like, it's a very specific 2008 April, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, you're giving me a lot of details here, and the payoff is great, obviously, which we'll talk about later. But it's almost to me was like the movie or the directors are saying you need to look at everything because you need to look at everything because anything could be of importance. And I feel like it was just a really good way to just, set us off and go on this adventure. And then I also love the fact where you're like, oh, you've got me in a home video, but then you pull me out and you're like, oh, but I'm on a home video on a computer desk, because I didn't know that it was first time. I didn't know it was going to be like this movie. And I'm like, oh, we're not leaving this type of realm. And I was like, well, I'm hooked. You've got me completely invested, and we're under 5 minutes.
Definitely.
I think it was Nick.
Yeah, it was me. This was another reason why I thought I wasn't going to be able to finish this movie, is because it starts out with this like handheld camera, like shaky cam. And I know we talked about this in the past, but I was like, oh, is this whole movie going to be like a handheld camcorder bullshit, whatever? And then, yeah, like you see like the zoom out to like the computer screen. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Like now you're changing my perspective,
right,
from like home video to computer screen. And then when it stayed mostly on computer screen for 10 minutes, I was like, are we ever going to leave this computer? And then like that's when things got super interesting. So I'm really glad that this wasn't like a shaky cam movie, whatever.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
Like Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I certainly agree. Like I would absolutely hate if it was the shaky cam stuff. But I really like how it starts with the home footage. Like that's been done so many times before. And like, you get your little shaky cam and stuff. But what it establishes is, like you said, everything that's on screen is of importance. And it also establishes that now that you were on the screen, like you were watching the screen, you see exactly what they want you to see. They zoom in on what they want you to focus on.
Right.
They are showing you exactly what they want you to see when they want you to see it. And they are in total control of that. And that transition from home footage to computer, from one computer to the next computer through video, like it's done so seamlessly that I was faked out so many times in this movie. Where I was like, oh, thank God we're back in, like, it's the real world. It's real. Oh, damn it, they got me. It's another video on a fuck. Like they did that to me so many times. But this transition that they established from the beginning is so seamless throughout, and it's really good. And it's part of why, like, I would say the artistry and the style of this is done so fucking well. It's so smooth. And like I said, I was faked out so many damn times. So many times. So
Same.
It's really good. And I like that we talked about the bloody nose, like the finding out the truth behind that video. And like there was so much of that video we didn't even get to see. And like we got all of it. Like they do such a good job with the storytelling of that, to where Nick, right up until this conversation, was in complete belief that he had a brain tumor and somehow survived and went to prison. Like
right.
Like it's like that's the point, right? Like they sold that
right.
This guy, his bloody nose was because of a tumor. And that's simply based off just the information they gave you at that time. Because when we hit this moment later on and it's replayed and we get all of it, we get all of that detail and we see where they cut the pieces of what they wanted to tell the narrative that they needed. It's so well done. Go ahead, Nick. Yeah,
no, you started talking about like fake outs of like your perspective on like what was like actually just real or what was a screen. The only time that I was faked out was towards the end when they start playing on fiction, like when the cops start coming to the house, I was like, oh, like finally, like actual like camera footage. And then it fucking zooms out to like the Netflix browser on the computer. I was like, fuck, like they got me. Like,
They got
that's
me
the
on
only
that
time
one,
that
and they got me on the FBI interview, or the like, what was it's when they were basically saying this case is a lot bigger than we thought. And it turns out she didn't even leave LA. And I was like, oh shit, we're out of the computer. And then they zoom out. I'm like, I'm in a TV.
Yep.
When'd you sons of bitches do that?
it's so good. It's so good how they do it.
And I actually loved being tricked like that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You start questioning, like, okay, what piece of device am I in now? Like, some of it was dead giveaways. Like the use of a reverse, or a car camera. I don't even know what to call them. Backup cams. Like the use of a backup cam to keep me out of the real world. I'm like, you guys are genius for this. Like, that was great. That was too good. So
that's really where the creativity shines, is stuff like that.
The amount of ways that they used to keep the movie going with it not just being the basic like laptop, iPhone, things like, they really stretched the limits. They're like, we're going to use the watch, we're going to use a backup cam, we're going to use live cams. I was like, oh, you guys are just
a Ring doorbell cam.
Yeah, exactly. You know? It's like just so smart on how they kept swapping you around, like as if you were just like a little tiny dot just being transferred to different types of technologies. And it was great. I don't know why you guys didn't like it. I was like, this is awesome being this up close in technology.
Too much screen time. Too much screen time.
Can I just say something about that, Brian? Like, for my job, like a lot of what my job is like watching all these different types of media, whether it comes from like CCTVs, Ring cameras, cell phone footage, like all of that stuff. And I have to like edit together case videos. And like this movie felt like a really long case video.
Yeah.
That
I can see that.
Yeah, it's like from the perspective of like a police detective, you know, because like a lot of the stuff that this girl does is what detectives do, like for homicides and whatnot. They'll look at social media, they'll like look at Ring camera footage that was collected. They'll do like internet searches for like databases of like license plates and like CCTV stuff.
Right.
Like this girl was essentially a detective. Like if she wanted to be a police officer and a detective one day, like she could do it.
Oh, she
killed it.
Mad skilled.
And so it was just really cool to like see something like that I kind of work in, like from like a cinematic perspective.
Right.
You know, it was just really cool. Yeah.
Nice.
That's all I had for the intro.
About being an AV guy.
Well, yeah.
All right. I think we'll just roll into our scenes now. And the more I think about it, the more I'm realizing, Matt, you and I don't have the same scene. I'm dumb for even thinking that. I think I know exactly what scene you're talking about.
Okay.
Do you want me to guess, or?
Well, you're the first one saying you've got an idea, so lay it on me.
It's when this is towards the end when they're in the room, and Grace is shot. Sarah is shot.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
No, ours is definitely. But funny. I think your title could have possibly worked with my scene with a twist.
Okay. Well, and I just want to clarify for mine one, like, so the actual, like, that is the scene, but the moment that I think of is when she stabs him in the neck with it.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
That's like, oh shit, like I didn't see it coming. And then the fact that he shuts the door too, it's like, like it's a high intensity moment of like, but wait, there's more.
So I definitely saw the stab coming, because like right when she falls, you see the shard right there. I'm like, oh yes, There's the weapon. Perfect.
Yeah.
What shocked the shit out of me, I'm like, you savage, is she stabs him, but breaks off. Did you catch the fact that she broke off some of it to where it was like too small to, it wasn't like a giant shard that he can just grab out? She broke it at the base to where it was stuck inside. I was like,
What?
Oh,
man,
yeah.
that's sick.
I knew
know
I did notice that she was still holding a shard, but I don't think I noticed that she broke it herself.
Popped it off when it was in his neck.
Jeez,
Wow.
savage. Oh,
Savage.
Some literal cutthroat shit right there.
that's amazing. It makes the scene even better for me. Like
Yeah.
it was so good, but like for me, the weird part was I'm probably gonna bring it up a lot tonight, but like Sherlock, like it was the moment of when the shot happens, and I think that they show it twice, like from different angles. The fact that like I hear that it goes through her and you can see that it breaks the glass. I'm like, okay, she's got a chance. She's gonna be okay. And like obviously I'm like, okay, and I know that the mirror is shattered. So it's like
Right.
it's not that like I didn't anticipate it. It's just like I'm in the moment of like I'm watching this thing and then bam, it happens. It's like, oh damn. Like it was so good. I love that suspense. Like this was a good thriller, and it kept me guessing. It kept me guessing. Go ahead, Nick.
Okay, so while I agree that was savage, the like slight little, like, I guess not even nitpick, maybe like head scratcher, is that when the mom is shot, she's on the ground. She, like, the last cutaway you see is like she's completely pretty much still. Like she's not really like, rolling, or there's not a whole lot of movement going on. And so you're led to believe that like, oh, she's like maybe unconscious or she's bleeding out or whatever. But then it just seems a little unrealistic for me to think like, oh, and then 5 seconds later she's standing up, like ready to stab him. And it's like, I don't know. Like, yes, it adds to like the cinema, the shock value of it. Huh?
Mother strength and adrenaline.
Took
I mean,
the
I
words
guess.
right out of my mouth. He's going after her cub. Mama Bear is like, absolutely not. This is not happening.
Everything that this guy put her through.
Adrenaline is flowing. She can't feel. She probably doesn't know exactly what type of trauma that she's experiencing or pain that she's going through, because the adrenaline is just pumped out of the roof. And her thing is, we're basically in fight or flight at this point, like actually fight or flight. She's choosing fight, and she's going to take him down.
I agree. I don't disagree with that. The problem that maybe I'm nitpicking now, but it's just the fact that like they lead us to believe that she's like down and out, like she's unconscious, and she's not doing anything. She's incapacitated.
It's possible. She did get shot. I mean, she gets shot. I
know, but like within 5 seconds to just go from that to like cutthroat stab, like.
It's amazing what adrenaline will do. That's all I gotta say.
It's great. It's great shock value and entertainment, but maybe I'm thinking too like realistically about this. But go ahead, Jen.
I thought she just faked him out, like so. Like what we saw, like you were saying, Nick, like we were led to believe that she was down, but. No, she still had some fight in her, but he didn't know that. We didn't know that. And so that's when she sprung and just took him out.
I like that. I like that theory. But I mean, like, to get shot and then fake out, like that's pretty powerful stuff,
Depends where you're shot.
Yeah.
I mean, this lady was prepared to kill this guy the moment she got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way she was letting this guy win if she couldn't stop it. It was do or die. And I think that was the motive at that point. Like, just like, no matter what the circumstance was, like, yeah, they led us to believe that she was incapacitated, but I mean, she wasn't dead yet, and she wasn't going to allow that guy to win if she could stop him. So, oh, go ahead, Brett.
Well, you mentioned that she wanted to kill him any chance she had, right? Or the first chance she had. I did have a question. They're in the shed. She knocks him with the hidden pole or wood or whatever it was that she was using to dig out, right? Hits him so hard that he falls and the gun drops. You're not just gonna grab the gun?
I mean, in that moment, freedom is all you're thinking, and if nothing else, she knew she bought herself time by locking him in. Think about that. Like the moment it takes her to bend down, get that gun, could have been the difference of her getting away.
Would any of you guys have grabbed the gun and try to finish the job?
But was the gun right next to him? Like when it fell?
It looked like it, yeah. You couldn't really, the camera didn't fully track the gun. I mean, obviously we're dealing with like room cams footage at this point. So yeah. So it was kind of, it was security cam footage is what we were being, what we were watching. But you can tell that he gets whacked and falls, and the gun falls. And I'm just kind of curious, like if any of us was in that situation, if it would even be a thought, or would it just be run?
Well, the only reason why I asked is because I feel like if somebody wanted to finish the job, if the gun was right next to that person, like they would. But if they just simply want to get away from them, like they would just get away, like without, because what if they go to grab the
what's
gun,
your motive?
And then the guy like is also doing a fake out, right? And then like grabs your leg as soon as you grab the gun. Like I don't know, just like if you're just trying to get away, you just want to get away.
Yeah,
that's my thought.
Okay. Was it Jen or Matt?
Matt.
This is a literal moment of fight or flight. Like,
yeah, right.
Saying the difference is, it's essentially the choice of, do you stay? You've already hit them once. You're going to have to fight. Like if you're choosing to go for that gun or the kill. And I don't think me personally, my thought is going to be like, finish this person. It's going to be get away. It's not find a weapon, but it is escape. Being trapped in that room is never a good option. It limits all sorts of space. If he doesn't get the gun, or if I get the gun, whatever, it's like my options are still better to be out in the open than locked inside walls. It's the same reason I have a problem with people going upstairs. Why? I'm running away from something. Why are you going upstairs? You were limiting your options so horrifically. What, do you think you're going to hide? Like he doesn't know this place better than you?
You talked about this in True Lies. Yeah. When the girl goes up to the crane. Yeah.
Why do people go up? So for me personally, I don't know what I would do. Most likely run. But again, still, it's freedom is my option. Like if get away gives you choice.
Maybe try to run away while grabbing the gun.
Maybe if I do think that I think quick enough to be like, it's there, like it's an option, but it's like, it's get out and be free. Go ahead, Jen.
No, I would just run out, because myself, I don't know one thing about using a gun. So it could just become disastrous for everybody at that point. so that wouldn't be good. And I think, like I was listening to you guys about the mirror, and wasn't even a thought, like pick up a shard of glass and stab somebody. So I think like if you just don't have that I'm not saying you guys are murderers or anyway, if you just don't have that thought, it's not going to come to you. And I don't think Grace is a murderer in any way. I think she just wants to protect her daughter. at all costs. And I think her main concern was just getting back to her daughter, because at that point they had seen each other for a brief moment, right? Or did they not?
I don't think so.
Oh no, not yet.
But because she runs in to get the car keys, I think she hears or knows.
That's okay. That's right. But well, yeah. So I don't know. I think it was good that she didn't pick up the gun, because that would throw me off, I think.
I think I'm with you, Jen, where it's just like it's she's not a killer. Like that's the difference. I'm like some people cannot take life on any scale, you know, like it cannot take life. And I think that's how Grace Sarah was, where she was that type of person where like she went through a lot to get away from this guy and to make it stick and to make it worthwhile and to like really put up an effort. She went through a lot, and I think all of that effort was made because killing him and just making that a finality like that, like ending it that way, was never a thought to her. It wasn't until it was the only option that she chose. Or mom to kill.
Let's go. Do we want to do
what was yours? Was paging Grace Allen.
Yeah, paging Grace Allen.
Paging Grace.
My God.
Sorry, I had to.
I'm thinking it could be where like all the tabloids and stuff are going nuts about Grace and like how she, or like, you know, how it's like she's this missing person, it's this big deal, but then now there's the scandal of, well, she's not such a great person, blah 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 blah, and like, okay,
nope,
not that.
I
was thinking paging like the like pages.
Like I said, it's a honestly, I think the title works perfectly for this type of movie where it's not just thrown at you like "Hi, Dad" or "Mirror, Mirror."
This is the waiting for mom at the airport.
No.
Oh, come on.
That's what I thought. I was gonna. No. Yeah. What the heck?
Do you guys want to know?
Wait, no. Is it when oh my God, what's the daughter's name?
Junebug.
June. When June. Finds the last bit of her location?
No.
No? Okay.
All right. So the scene is when, and I don't know, did you guys find it hard to kind of even pick scenes? I did challenge, or I was struggling a bit on it. I was like, I don't know.
Mine was instant. I knew
mine was like, where? Well, it was more of like, where does the scene start and end? And where does the new one begin and you know, type thing, right? But to me, it just seemed like it was a bunch of moments, not really scenes. Anyway, so what really stood out to me is, and it's the one where I'm like missing. Yeah, that's what's gonna come to my mind, is when June discovers on her own that the lady that Kevin is with isn't even her mom. That, and what? Why the hands, Nick?
I think that's my scene.
Is it?
What was this again?
And the moment that I'm really talking about is when she looks at the live photo. And she turns.
You're alive. Got it.
Oh yeah. Now I see.
It is.
And she turns, and then it's like a quick one, and then you get that second one, and she turns, and it is like just an eerie feeling where it's like you've been working so hard to track these. Like you went from, I had no idea that my mom wasn't coming home at an airport, to you've been able to track them down. You watched them on a bridge. I mean, you have been putting in some work, only to find out that you missed a harrowing detail in the very beginning, where had you had just pushed the live button, it would have red flagged so many things. And the movie just, I'm like, oh, this movie's about to go up 3 levels if we're doing this. And the reason why I titled it Paging Grace Allen, the name of the character, or the actor, I'm sorry, the character's name of the other woman is Rachel Page.
Um,
Paige was her
So
last name?
yes, so I went
Oh.
with, oh my God, her name is Paige. I'm like, I'm going with paging, like she's trying to be that. I was like, ooh,
I'm with you.
I'm chilling myself right now.
Wow.
But yeah, so to me, that scene just really stood out, and it showed me what I think we're like maybe halfway through the movie at this point. I didn't mark the minute mark on this one, but I knew that I was like, if we're going here, this movie is about to go up 3 levels for sure, and it did not disappoint. Go ahead, Nick.
So, one of the couple reasons why like this scene is great. I mean, I guess we could both just talk about it because it's the same scene, right?
We all could talk about it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, yeah,
We're not going to exclude them.
yeah,
Can we please?
yeah.
You go play with your mirror, and you go play with your. Anyway,
yeah, no. So it's like to me, like this is such a great twist.
Yes.
Like whether you know about the feature of live photo or not, like it's just on its own an amazing twist.
one of the
but
best
reason why
uses of live photo I've seen yet.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
100%.
Also, too, it's like I have also been in the same situation, not specifically like this, but where like I didn't know what live photo was, and I feel like maybe June also didn't. Well, we don't actually know if she didn't know what live photo was, or if she just like missed that detail to press live photo.
I don't think
but
she
either
cared
way-
enough about her mom's trip.
Yeah,
She
But
didn't respond to anything. Nothing. Here. No response.
yeah. But it's just the realizing that like what live photo is for the first time. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, it actually records sound,
Yeah.
which like I learned that like a year ago. And because I remember a friend sending me a photo of something. They were like having game night at like a cabin up in Tahoe. I was like, oh, it looks like a peaceful, like, just a couple of friends hanging out. Well, I clicked the live photo. They're playing like a dominoes, whatever. I clicked the live photo, and it's like a house party. Like I'm hearing music and like people like screaming and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this just isn't like a game night with a couple friends. This is like a house party happening. And I was like, whoa, like live photo is scary because like you can give people more information than like what you like without even realizing it.
Yeah.
Right. So when was it Kevin Lynn?
Yeah.
When he was on the plane with that woman, like, if you're a con man, like a master con man or whatever, like he probably didn't know about the live photo feature either. And that's where he got caught. So I don't know. It's just something like that simple and that small. It's like groundbreaking. It's amazing.
Matt's gonna burst.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I see his hand Tourette'sing right now. Go ahead, Matt.
This was the level of con man that he was. He planned for all of this. He knew that she was so uninvested that she would find it at a certain point. He left these clues for a reason. That's what, like, everything was designed to create the chaos. First, she's a missing person. Then she's the villain. Like, it's all meant to drag things out to where he could get to her. Like, he says it in like the message where it's like, I'm the one that planned all of this. Like, everything was planned out to the T of how it was going to work out. So that's why certain clues were left. Like, it's not that he got caught. He was always meant to be caught to a degree. Like, certain clues were supposed to come out. That's why, like, when she gets caught on the plane, it's like, oh wait, we know who she is. Like, she was always meant to be caught on the planes. Like, so he made her famous for being this person who was like duped into what she thought was a reality show. So like she's now famous for this bullshit story that she was a part of, whatever she was told, like, but she's famous for it. and she gets what she wants. It's all played out. It's all played out. It's all planned. So the fact that it was a live photo, he knew June so well that because they're coming from him and because she was so uninvested in him, she'd never actually look at them until she did. And when it was necessary, it's like, oh my God, that's not even my mom. She's still like, it's okay. Now is the next piece of the puzzle he's laid. It's like he's a master con man. All of it was done on purpose until he was screwed over by the father, who basically just hung him out to dry.
So you're saying that the live photo was purposeful?
Always meant to be live. That's why he did so many of them.
You laid out a good case. I don't know if I can jump on your side though.
Master con man miss something like that, especially when the guy that you're hired with is hacking onto their computer. She's watching her this entire time. Every clue that she figures out, he knows she's figured it out because he's watching her computer.
Oh, that's even a stronger case. Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was all planned out to a degree. Like the only reason the dad shows up at her place when he does is because he knows all of the cops are gone. She is there alone. Heather is not there to protect her. It's just her. Nobody can stop it. And who is there to see it? Nobody, because he's got control of her computer. They knew everything.
I don't know, man. The live photo thing just seems...
They knew, and they did nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Different movie.
You really think... I mean, he does the whole proposal thing just to get her to believe that when, you know, like, she calls for who the church guy, whatever it is, and like find out, like, oh no, he's been amazing. Oh yeah, of course, he constantly talks about, like, that was all the dad. Like it was all planned out. It was all planned out.
What do you got, Jen?
Can someone send me a live photo so I can see how it works?
Nick, you're on it.
Do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
So,
I think I have mine turned off, but I can turn it back on.
Here's a fun fact.
Yeah.
No villains are allowed to use Apple products in movies and television.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So when you notice how all of her stuff is Apple,
right?
But when it comes out and you can see his computer from one of the security cameras, it is not an Apple product.
Oh man, I did not. That's great.
It's because Apple will not allow.
Well, yeah, they're not going to want to be affiliated with that.
Exactly, they will not let bad guys use their products.
Yeah, I think this is like the other. Well, I mean, obviously that moment when she turns and everything was why I picked this scene. But like, once you watch this movie a couple of times, you kind of realize everything is pretty much laid out in front of you, and you just miss it completely. And then you rewatch and you're like, oh wow, no, it really was like all the breadcrumbs are just there as to exactly what's going on in the situation and you know how he's behind it. I mean, it just these subtle clues, but again, it's you have to watch it a couple of times and you're like, oh yeah, they said that they drank wine, but then they say that in the when they meet, they don't drink it all. They both don't drink it all. I'm like, well, that's a red flag. And it's all there. You miss it the first time because you are so invested on trying to gather as much information as you can because you want to basically beat the movie to the end and have it solved. But I mean, this one it's just not like that. I mean, when she's like going through those pictures, it's like, wait a sec, cocktails, no mocktails, no like this. And then you at first glance, you don't realize that she's never showing her face. And then we, Matt, you were talking earlier about how the camera uses tricks on how it guides you into where it wants you to focus. And when she circles back to when she's looking over her mom's texts, they are now zooming in on every photo isn't looking at her. And I'm like, oh shit. And then she pushes the live button. And the feeling that I got was like, I'm trying to think of like another movie I can compare it to, like that oh shit moment. Like they, almost like Bruce Willis is dead, right? Or something like that, right? It's just like, how did they trick me like this? And it just so good. Go ahead, Matt.
No, you said it. It's just it it illustrates the brilliance of the storytelling method of it shows you exactly what it wants to show you when it shows it to you. Right? Like you said, we see those photos and boop, boop, boop. She's like, we get a glance just like she does.
Yes.
So it's so easily overlooked. Like the clues are there.
Yes.
She missed them, so we missed them.
Yes.
It's brilliant and done so well.
Yep. It's almost as if throughout this movie they're like, okay, guys, the camera needs to be June's eyes. So if it's important, it's going to be focused, and if it's like whatever, it's going to be more of like glanced over. And I think they mastered that, because when it was something that was important, it really showed us the importance of it. So just, man.
No, they did a great job of keeping everything within that frame, that ultimate frame, but squaring it down to like, this is what you need to see.
Right.
Did a great job. So good.
I have a question though, but
42.
Who was the actor girl, the lookalike? What was her character's name? Did she have a name?
That played
Rachel Page.
Rachel Page.
Oh, the bunny cake girl. That girl.
Rachel Page.
Sure.
Oh, that's
That's her
Rachel.
character name. I don't know her actress name.
Oh no, yeah, no, I just meant her character name. But when she does like look to the phone as Kevin's taking the photo, do you think Kevin like says to her like, "Hey," and then like to get her to look at him when he's taking that photo?
Maybe.
Because I'm like curious on like how they coordinated that. Right, because the live photo lasts like 1 or 2 seconds, as Jen now just discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it lasts like 1 or 2 seconds, and I wonder if that detail was coordinated to be like, all right, I'm gonna say go, and then you look at the phone in 1 second or something like that.
It
I'm just curious. I'm fascinated by that.
Yeah. Especially if you're going off of Matt's theory.
Yeah, exactly. Like if that was all planned to do so. But I like the idea of the bad man like messing up, of like not realizing that he took a live photo versus just a standard photo.
Just leaving that one digital fingerprint.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll see.
Jen, would you like to talk about Hi Dad?
Not really.
I would just like to say that Rachel is played by Lauren B. Mosley.
Ah.
I'm just shout out to her since we were talking about her.
Shout out to her.
To Buddy Cake 510 or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't believe you remember her name.
I titled your scene, Jen. I titled it Daddy Doorcam.
Daddy Doorcam.
Okay. I like the title actually. I do.
Go ahead.
So you're gonna have Matt talk about your scene. Okay.
I have a complaint. So like maybe you can prove me wrong since this is your scene. My nitpick with it is, why does she have to open the door for him to give the information? Can hear you through the camera. Say what you need to say. I thought you were dead. Why do I have to open the door and you be inside?
Good point.
Like this is me in a moment of like, my mom is missing. I'm terrified. And now my dead dad shows up. Like, I'm still thinking something's weird here. Like, and would I be overjoyed to see that my father that I've been so sad about and depressed about for years is alive? Yes. But I'd also be very concerned. Like, why are you showing up now? Tell me through the door. Tell me through the door. There's a camera right here. Talk to me.
I'll say, I think in that moment, her her emotions are getting to her. So she's
18-year-old.
becoming emotional because she's seeing him alive. You know,
I don't
and
know.
she and
Emotion-
you know, and from the beginning that she has this like like this positive memory, this good attachment with her father. You know, we see that with the Instagram post that she makes, you know, with the photo, and I think that her emotions just were overriding her logical, right? Like with what you're saying, like why didn't she just, you know, say it through the door cam? I think she just wanted to see and believe that he was real, right, and not just like on the image of a camera. Yeah.
Actually, I like that point of like we spend the whole time on the screen, and for the most part, so does she. Like, she didn't want to see him through a screen; she wanted to see him in person. I can see that being an overwhelming emotion.
And whether or not that was his intentions, like he wanted to get to her, to kidnap her. So I think that he knew that him showing up like that would get her to open the door.
Yep.
You know, like if Matt, if you're saying that this whole plan has been concocted to essentially not fail or be a part of the plan, like I can see that the dad trying to lure her, you know, to the door so that he can get to her, like essentially just being manipulative.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because he's a bad man.
Baby man.
Bad man. Let this be a warning to you, children. Don't just open your doors for your dead dads.
Yeah, if your father came back, if your father came back from getting cigarettes after 15 years, like don't just open the door.
Unless he's got that pack of cigarettes.
It's like, did you even get the cigarettes?
You son of a bitch, dad. You left and you didn't even come back with them. Like, seriously.
If your dad's in the army and he just returned from
Hey, that's my life. My dad did. It was in the army, and he
oh man. Jen,
never came back with cigarettes.
why this scene? At least give us that.
This was the only one I can think of to make sense. The movie's hard to follow.
Okay. Is the discussion helping you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Am I making it worse?
Well, that last comment that was dark even for me.
I couldn't finish it. Like it. I
know.
like, oh god. I don't have the confidence to say that joke out loud. Apparently.
Well, would he do this after you say it?
I know. I felt so bad. It felt so
That was dark.
Oh, it was.
This movie did make me cry, though. Did anybody cry?
No.
I teared up, but I think that's because I didn't blink for a really long time.
It's a hard no.
Not even close.
I cried. It's so sad. Like when it was, maybe that should be my scene instead.
Which one?
It's when she's reviewing like the voicemails from her mom and the text.
Oh yeah.
Message. Oh my gosh. It brought tears to my eyes. That was so sad because I could just imagine what she was thinking in that moment. She's probably
she's losing hope.
No, she's probably feeling so guilty.
Well, that too, yes.
She treated her mom, and like hearing her mom just be like, make it a joke, like, oh hey, this is Grace. I'm your mom. I don't know if you know that, like, but it comes from a place of actual hurt and pain.
Yeah.
So yeah, it got me. That got me for sure. Can I choose that one? Hi, Mom.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Mom. I love it. What a pairing. Fantastic. No, you bring this one up, and like there is a moment where like she initially it's the revisiting of the text message, and the last thing that she's like her mom said to her was love you, and she liked it. Like,
Thumbs up.
yeah, that was a moment like when it actually happens in the story and then the revisiting, it's like that's one of those things like it hurt me to the core because
Yeah, that's tough.
I so often in conversations with my loved ones, like it just like doesn't matter. We talked for 2 seconds. You asked me one question. The last thing I'm saying to you is I love you, because if this is the last thing that I say to you, I need it to be that I love you. And for you to know that, like, I probably say it far too often for normal people, but like that's like, but that's like how important it is to me. Of like, if these are my last words to you, I want them to be this. So when she liked that, like, it hurt me when she revisits it, like, and it's like that guilt that she's feeling. It's like, yeah, like I knew you'd regret that, but I love the ultimate payoff where her mom
Likes
likes hers. I was
it.
like, yes, like I was so proud of her in that moment where I was just like, yes, this mom rocks. She is awesome. Because that's not to say that I would ever be in this situation, but that's the type of mom that I have, where like she would totally make me feel bad. Like she would do that, like, boom, got you back. And it's like, I love you for this, but ouch. Go ahead, Brian.
This is right. I have a head scratcher for right around the scene that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Should, with as smart as Junebug is, and she clearly definitely has some wits about her, should she have thought of Junebug as the password sooner? Okay, I got
Junebug
one
as
yes.
what? As what?
Junebug as the password, as her mom's password instead
Oh.
of just June.
Hmm.
I flagged it. I'm like, I don't know. She's pretty up there when it comes to intelligence and everything. I just think, oh, June didn't work. Let me try Junebug.
The fact that she
Yes,
remembered
Jen.
to change the E to a 3, but she didn't think of bug.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the trick. They tricked you there. That's how they got you.
Go ahead, Jen.
Well, I don't know. Just because, like, she really hated that name.
Yes, she
So-
did.
Kind of out of sight, out of mind type thing. She wasn't hearing it. It's not gonna, if she's not a big fan of it, I don't think it would come to her mind necessarily. I don't know. But you have kind of a good point. But the only thing I can think of is that she just out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because it wasn't until she heard it where she's like, wait a second, I do have another name.
I have a question about Junebug as a password, because I remember one time as a kid, I had an aunt. She's passed away since, but she had told me like her password for stuff was Junebug. And it was like Junebug and some numbers, and I'm trying to remember. There was this other time where like some website was like, pick a unique password. Don't use passwords like these. And it gave like a list of examples. And I think I remember Junebug being one of those like common passwords. And I'm like,
Wow.
was Junebug something that people commonly use as their passwords? Like,
Let's find out.
I have no idea.
That's funny.
oh, okay. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just like a coincidence that like I had that experience, but I was just I found it weird because like Junebug is such a like a password. Does that make sense?
Was her name June?
No. That's the thing. I didn't know if the Junebug was like just a popular word to use for passwords.
I don't know. Maybe people thought it was like an obscure word, or it's like Junebug. Nobody thinks of that.
Yeah, it's not a word that you use in your daily vocabulary.
I can't remember the last time I've ever said Junebug besides referring to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna see if there's other people that can relate.
For the record, for
if you're listening to us, let us know.
3.
Yeah.
What's your password, guys?
Should not be a password.
Yeah, Brian, tell them your password. You've already given them your aim. Like, just
Yeah, they won't get anywhere with. Who the hell has aim anymore?
Oh, buddy. It's the dark web.
All right, where do we go from here? How are we on?
We're close to break time if we're looking for one. I mean,
Yeah.
we had a long bit of time where we were just chatting before actually being here that it did kind of tick away sometimes. So it's really up to you guys. We can go into another scene, some quotes, some nitpicks, whatever. We got plenty of time. But it's how you guys are feeling if you're looking for a break.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I can do a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's find some more scenes. Let's keep chatting it up.
I'm just looking at my notes. Oh, here's a scene. I've titled it Espanol lesson via de Google.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
See. Bueno.
Espanol.
Well, you know what? While you bring this up for your wedding, sir, Nick did a fantastic job speaking Spanish.
I crushed it.
Nailed it. I'll say. But if that was any indication to you, like, you know what? Muy bien, sir. Señor. Yeah.
You guys, did we tell you so when I went to the store with Shiki, he was trying to I don't know what his brain was doing, just trying to go back to Spanish high school. And he's just in the back of the cab. We're trying to go to the liquor store. And my brother's just back there like, verde, rojo.
The colors nailed it.
And the driver just starts cracking up. He's like, where are we going? And he's like, oh, verde.
Like, what are the three primary colors?
Yeah.
Verde, rojo, azul.
Yeah.
I will say eventually, every now and then, I do try and remember my numbers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Those squares.
Wow.
14, 15,
Yeah.
16, 18, 19, 15. No.
That's Diaz.
That's where I always get screwed up is 20. I always forget 20. What's
15 is 20.
20.
20.
20? Thank you.
21, 22, 23, 24.
Matt, you know how you remember? Starbucks.
I know. I just made that connection. Just made that connection. This is my problem with that size system. Like, why? I understand it's the amount of it's ounces. There's watch role models. They explain the whole system, but why?
I mean, and Grande doesn't have an actual number to it. Grande is just big.
But Joe Grande is smaller than
role models they explain it.
Because when you think of venti, you're like venti, like a little venti, you know, and then you're like grande, but it's actually the opposite. Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
Anyway,
last time role models explains it so perfectly. Paul Rudd, check it out. We've lost track of where we were going.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
Exactly.
I'm still thinking back to Brian going fair day.
We were talking about the scene Espanol lesson via de Google.
Okay, yeah.
It's a quick moment, but I'm just like, this was really it just showed how quick she is to on thinking, right? She finds the hotel, she calls them. Turns out no one speaks English, which I do question that. I feel like any international hotel, there's one person that normally speaks English. I think it's almost mandatory, if I remember correctly, in international law. But anyway, so I question the whole no one at the hotel speaks English, but she's like, okay, fine. I have a obstacle. I will work around my obstacle, and just fires up Google, and you can see it's so fluent when she wants to ask a question, just type it out, boom. But you can see how much she's struggling when she's trying to pick up what I was struggling with the hell he was trying to say. But she types in something and says lick my popsicles.
Yes.
Kill to me.
I think I got that right.
That was funny.
And then we talk about acting. It also just had the subtle acting of, and I give credit to whoever the voice of the hotel was, when he drops the line, they left everything. And it's the pause, the dramatic effect that he threw into that delivery. I'm like, oh, I'm already got chills going down the spine with like the eeriness of the, of the movie, or the tone of the movie. So quick little moment, but I was like, this is definitely worth bringing a mention to. Go ahead, Jen.
So I think maybe you missed something with the phone call. And it wasn't so much that no one could speak English, but he specifically says, I don't. So I don't think he understood her fully when she said it. Does anybody?
That makes sense. Yeah.
All he heard was English, and he's like, no,
English. No English. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
I thought she did ask if anybody there spoke English.
Right, but he probably didn't understand that. He only it's kind of like if someone's talking to you in like rapid Spanish and you're like azul. I heard blue, but you have no idea what else he's talking about.
You need to prove you knew other colors besides verde and rojo.
Amarillo.
Oh my god. Yeah, if Brian was the guy calling the hotel,
a blue hamburger. What are we talking about?
Yeah, if Brian was the one that was calling that hotel, and that guy picks up and starts the conversation in Spanish, Brian's like, rojo verde azul, rojo verde azul, and the guy's like, sir.
If I'm the one that's listening, you would not want to see what my Google Translate comes up with.
Oh my god.
There'd be licking popsicles all over. It'd be weird.
I just thought that moment in the movie was a little. It was comical. It was eerie. I mean, it really just packed a pretty big punch.
The one thing I'll comment about that scene though is when June is like requesting to get security footage.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the hotel be the ones to say like, hey, we'll call the policia and then we'll like have them, come and investigate? Because they mentioned that their video overwrites every 48 hours, right? So that's like dire. I just don't understand, why did the hotel be like, oh yeah, we'll get the police here to collect it, Well, it just
theory they could have just gotten the recording and was like, oh, they asked for this, let's just put it onto a thumb drive and have it ready for them.
Right.
In theory, they could do that.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that there's a reason they bring in people like you with the police. Not everybody knows.
That would literally be my job. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like why did this hotel call me?
Everybody knows how to get that footage, and I mean, they are technically a business. So you want to draw attention by calling the cops to your own place?
Yeah, dude, they do that all the time.
I'm just saying, this is a touristy place. Do you want to scare the tourists by bringing in cops and investigating? Like, check your security camera. Somebody's missing. Like, you don't want that associated.
I mean,
place. Yeah, the shooting on the roof. It's much better. Yeah.
It is Mexico, right? Were they in Mexico?
Colombia.
What?
Colombia.
Yeah. So maybe it's just different out there. Of like, yeah, maybe the businesses don't want the police to come out. I guess, I don't know. Go ahead.
Jen just transitioned us into one of my nitpicks, where I don't know if you guys caught it. She said the shooting on the roof is much better.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about it.
Well, my nitpick on this is you just killed the biggest lead, and for no reason at all. His hands are in the air on top of the roof. He's got nowhere to go, surrounded by police. Why are we killing him? This should be like top priority. Keep this guy alive, get him into custody. We need to interrogate him. We need to get information out of him, and bringing Jack Bauer might not be a bad idea either. It's just, I just don't know why we're shooting him dead on the roof. Like, come on, guys, be better. Well, June is working hard enough for you guys as is. Catch her a little bit of a break.
they couldn't understand them probably. Or maybe he made like one gesture and then
Maybe, but
I remember his hands being up the whole time.
same.
Brian, you watched it 3 times. You should you verify that.
His hands are up most of the time. There was one time where you see one of them drop down, but it doesn't look like it's reaching for anything. So go ahead, Matt. You got something to say.
This is the importance of angles and what they show us.
Mm-hmm.
They hide him, and then he shot. We see the hand come down. This is all meant to be for a reason. It's like it's the obsession with everybody's on their cell phones getting footage of police activity and things, and like, but it's always at these angles. You don't always quite see the whole thing. Like it's kind of telling us that kind of thing where it's meant to be. Why did they shoot him? We know, logically speaking, this guy is one of the most wanted people in the world right now, in the sense that there's a person who's actively missing. They know who took them, and you are them. They know to keep this person alive because the person that's missing has not been found.
Yes, he holds critical information.
Exactly. So everybody knows, don't kill this guy. Why did they? Why did his hand come down? Does he have a gun? Does he have a weapon? Did he actively go to shoot that weapon? Or what, like that's what it's meant to be. They give us that angle for a reason of we don't know what he did to cause himself to get shot. What happened? That's why they show us the angle that they did. We know that there are other angles. We know that there was a better angle of what happened because most likely there was some sort of camera on one of those police. There's somebody on one of these other roofs that's got their cell phone out and is recording this. Like somewhere, someone got footage that was what we need to see to know what happened.
There's a better vantage point out there for sure.
Exactly. So that is what they gave us. And it's so smart because now we're debating, like, why would they shoot him? He never should have been shot. Never should have been shot. He's on the roof. Maybe he attempted to jump. Who knows, right? Like, I don't know. Why did they shoot this guy? Why? Well, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And that's why it's a nitpick, right? It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Nick?
Matt didn't pass it on to me yet, so I'm just going to go.
That's the talking stick to Nicholas.
It's Nicholas. So you kind of lead me into like a general topic that I thought about while watching this movie. It's one of the I don't know, it's something that I just personally think about too, is like the problem with like the internet and technology and cameras is that you only get like you get like a cropped perspective of things, and that's why so much of the internet so much information that's on the internet can be misinterpreted because you only have a certain angle, a cropping, a perspective, and in some ways, I think it our society, like this is what our society is. Like people live vicariously through their phones, like watching TikToks, like taking photos of like certain moments in time, taking videos. Only typing 140 characters on Twitter, like you don't get the full story when you essentially try to like live life or post your life online. Like you don't get the full story. And I honestly think that like that sort of idea is going to lead, like we're essentially going to destroy ourselves. Like we're going to kill ourselves from within, like living this like virtual, like unrealistic life. And while I do think that if this technology was not available, for June to find her mother, like then like that would be devastating. Like June probably would have never found her mom if it wasn't for this technology, right? So it's just like it's this powerful weapon that we have that can be used for good and bad. And it's like, where on the tipping scales is it going to lead in the future? Is it going to be used more for good or more for bad? And I just think about that sometimes because, I mean, like I try to spend less time on social media. I take less like videos of things. I don't post on hardly post on Facebook anymore. I don't have Instagram. Like, anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up, and like I was just curious of like what you guys thought about that sort of idea and how that applies to the movie. Start with Matt.
Yeah, I think this movie does a really good job of showing you the positives and the negatives of this type of technology. Like it's wonderful in what it's capable of doing, and the necessity of things as extreme as finding a missing person, and also as mundane as getting people money so that they can have a party, right? Like it's very convenient and it's impressive what we can do, but it's also scary in how it can be taken advantage of in even the simplest of forms, right? Like we saw how easy it was for her to hack into their emails, right? Like,
oh my God.
I mean, and of course she has the benefit of, having personal details and knowing them, but also she guessed them pretty easily. She figured them out pretty quickly. Like, I mean, it's
Facebook gave her all the answers she was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Her and her friend Vina at some point impersonating him. Like, easy was that? Like, that's not far off. I mean, that's real life. That stuff can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie does a really good job of, I think, showing both sides of it, and without making it a terrifying thing of like, oh my God, AI is going to take over the world and kill us all. But also being like, hey, just be careful and think about what you do. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I completely agree with what you were saying, especially when you said it does a great job of showing us the benefits of this type of technology and also how scary it can be at the same time. The other thing I really liked about this movie was how real it felt when it comes to technology in general. The moment that I can think of as an example would be once the Grace Allen story basically went viral. Mm-hmm. The moment that I'm like, oh, this is kind of like, hey, United States, here's your mirror, here's what you do, is when they had the montage of all the TikTokers and how now they're experts. These guys are like experts of Grace Allen, and they're professionals, and they know everything about these people's lives, and they're just throwing their theories out the like left and right here. And I'm just like, this is what people would do if if like the OJ Simpson of 2023 came out. This is exactly what would happen. Everyone would all of a sudden be experts at absolutely whatever the issue is. And I'm just like, oh, that's too real. And yeah, it's just, I agree with Nick. Is I feel people are completely surrounding themselves with technology way too much. Now, we use technology, but I think we have fun with it. We're providing entertainment, all that stuff. But there are some people that will go hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on their phone to where they look up and they're like, when the sun set, and they're just constantly flipping through different mediums where it's like, oh, I gotta check my Twitter, I gotta check my TikTok, my Snapchat, my Venmo. So I gotta check it all. And I do feel that it is it's definitely unhealthy. So I think that this movie, like what Matt was saying, really teaches us a lot. Go ahead, Jen.
Well, I was going to say, I think it was Einstein that said something about technology will be like the downfall of us. Einstein, like well before technology, but he had just made that prediction. It's like that'll be the end of us, this technology. And it's like as you guys forget, you can see it, but it's not technology itself, it's the people, you know. It just comes down to having a balance and not becoming addicts over it, not letting it fuel your life. Use it to help aid you. Like I think some of it's very good, like in the fitness industry, there's so many, what you said, like I'm an expert. It's like you're just feeding crap and you're feeding it to vulnerable people and make $1 out of it. But then on the plus side, you do have real experts and they're debunking the frauds. So there's pros and cons to it, but that's with everything. You just have to have some type of self-respect for yourself and know what your boundaries are.
I mean, I'll say this, and I know this is not directly tied to the movie itself, but I think it's still important to mention on like the topic of technology is like VR is kind of this new thing that like we're kind of going through, and that's scary to me because I just like if the future is VR and that we're all going to be like wearing headsets, like, you know, doing our 8-hour work days in like virtual meetings, right? Or spending like all day playing like a video game in VR, or like shopping, like doing all of your shopping online with your VR. Like if we ever get to a point where everything that we do is done virtually, like I think that ties into what you were saying, Jen, about what Einstein is saying. Like that will be the downfall of humanity, because as soon as we have essentially lost all contact with people like physically, like that's when we become lonely and depressed and like unsatisfied and unloved and all of that, because like we're trying to live life through technology. And I think my prediction is that like it's going to keep getting worse and worse. Like it's going to be, technology will do more harm than good over time.
Wally.
Yeah. Dude, Wally, that shit was revolutionary. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
100%.
still, yeah. And I like what you said, Matt, earlier about how like this movie kind of like shows you the good and the bad, you know, with like criminals like using it. But then like, you know, people like June being able to hack into your accounts and get personal information. And then, but like also the technology being used to save her mom, you know? So it's like, where do we find that balance? Like,
yeah,
how do we, what laws can we put in place that prevents technology from being the downfall? Or
the struggle with technology as it continues to progress, it can always be misused.
Enemy of the state, baby.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's like on what scale? Like how big is it going to get before it like fucking implodes on itself?
I mean,
how
we're all being
after the telephone was invented was the first crank call made?
I didn't hear that first part. What?
Yeah, we missed it.
I said, how long after the telephone was invented was the first crank call made? You know what I mean?
Good question.
It doesn't matter that like technology on pretty much any scale can be misused,
abused. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I don't want to say strictly abused. I'm going to say misused, but that misuse also leads to other innovations. So it's like it's really a question of morality, not what's, you know, what shouldn't be done. It's whether we should or shouldn't. It's just, you know what I'm saying. This fucking fly is pissing me off. Go on,
dude. I saw you. They kept doing this. I was like, fly. like I don't agree with you. Stop what you're saying. Like, I was like, what are you doing?
There's this little fucker fly that is just all up in my face. But sorry, go ahead, Jen. I'm gonna.
That's not a fly. That's a camera. Watch yourself.
I knew it. It's freaking Keen Bean from Richie Rich. He's got that damn
Yeah,
technology figured out so well. Fucker.
you know it.
Keen Bean.
Hey, Jen, you were going?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say we're being groomed for it already, guys, and it's inevitable. We're just gonna follow because not only is technology like entertainment, but it's like getting forced on us. I mean, I was just thinking the other day, I was like, because there was an announcement over Safeway, it's something about identity theft and protect yourself. I was like, well, if you stop having us need 99 freaking passwords, that's a good start, you know? Like I don't know. And it's really sad because like we have so many ways to communicate now where, it's not snail mail, and yet we are so disconnected from each other. It's sad.
Because it's so easy that we just don't care as much. Not
That, and people are going like 100 miles per hour straight into walls because they are so used to instant everything.
Yeah.
What is causing like anxiety and depression and ADHD and like dopamine like rushes and all that kind of stuff too, which like we're not hardwired for that kind of stimulation.
Like I'm slow. Like I'm not saying I'm stupid, but I am slow, and sometimes keeping pace with some of the world is nope. It's so frustrating.
I mean, a lot of
built for it.
A lot of the depression is coming from a false sense of reality. Because people see things on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and they're like, wow, that person's really got it together. Look how gorgeous he or she is, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I mean, sure, in that virtual world of theirs, it looks great. But if you actually go to the reality, it's like, oh, there's filters used and they rented that place, or they just borrowed that location, or, what have you. Like, you don't know, like there is no cut and dry line of real versus unreal, and then people are just like, I don't have any of that, my life is going down the shitter, and it's just, yeah, it's getting scary.
I think it's important to remember that all of those things that on one hand do make our lives easier, more convenient, are not completely necessary. Like you can still go somewhere without having to Google it and get food that somebody made and didn't have to drive it to you or pick it up through a drive-through. Like you can do all of those things, and you should. Like just because something can be done and you have that convenience, people become reliant on it, and that's what's happening. And it's a shame because you're not experiencing life like we've been saying, and you got to remind yourself, like you don't need to use that stuff. You don't have to be on those things. You don't have to be on social media. There's no, like Nick, you keep saying we're not built for, like, yeah, what is social media? That is something we made up and have labeled importance to it, but in reality it offers no real substance to your life. You get as much out of it as you put in,
but please like and follow.
I'm just saying, like you don't have to live your life in social media. That's the thing, right? You don't have to live your life.
Except for GoodFlickas.
You're asking
great time for a plug.
You're asking for 4 hours of your time.
We may
at some point in your life. It is your
GoodFlickas is not a waste of your time. We are very entertaining. And appreciate your subscription and likes and follows.
We really do. We're not desperate, but we're desperate.
We are the biggest hypocrites right now.
No, and I think it's fair to be honest, but at the same time, it's like we're doing this because we enjoy it and we want to share it with people. Like there's nothing wrong with that. We're not trying to get anything out of it. Would it be nice to? Absolutely. I think that's our hope as human beings, is always like, you want something, you want attention or appreciation, acknowledgement. You want something. from others. Like that's a desire.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a bonus to this, right? We do it for fun. And we reach out to people on
100%.
social media because there are people that enjoy these things and want to share it with us. Again, the positives and negatives of things, right? Like it's all about how you use it, but you don't have to live your life based on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Nick.
I'll just say this last thing and we can kind of move on. But
Probably going break,
I think,
actually.
yeah, take a break. Yeah. I think Matt, I think you and I talked about this a couple of years ago. Like when the pandemic started. I can't remember if it was you that told me or Cody that told me, but one of you guys had mentioned that like somebody had posted like virtual Disneyland rides. Like they essentially filmed
like
like a first person view like on a Disneyland ride.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic when everything was shut down, it was like you could ride the Matterhorn like virtually, you know, but I that didn't appeal to me because I'm like, why would I want to do that virtually? I'd rather wait and just do it in person. Like that'd be way more fun, you know.
Well, it's not the same.
It's not the same, and if you do it virtually, like that takes away the experience of like if you had never done it before.
Yeah,
it takes away from the experience of like riding the ride for the first time in person, you know. And it's like, so while it is like easy and convenient to do things virtually and through, you know, video and technology, it's not the best way to do it typically. Unless if it's like a simulation, like if you're like the flight simulators, there's like semi truck driving simulators, like those are all tools to like learn, obviously, before you do the real thing, you know, that kind of thing.
I will play devil's advocate for the Disney rides, virtual reality thing. That's a fun thing that I've seen a couple of videos of where like parents will put their kids in like a bucket or something and they pretend it's the Thunder Railroad and it's like, okay, we're going like they're making it a simulator. So like the kids are getting to play because they can't go to Disneyland. And like
I can see that.
Imagine it's, oh, we were going to go, but the pandemic hit and like obviously we can't go anywhere. So we can't do anything. So you have this ability to where you make the fun, like it's an opportunity. I'm not saying that like everybody is using it for this, but I like that it's an option for things like that where a parent can offer a little bit of fun for their kid of like, hey, I'm sorry we couldn't make this trip, but let's have a little fun and pretend while we're there, you know, we'll make the treats together, we'll go on these rides, and you know, we'll have a fun virtual time. I like that there's that possibility and that option. But as a general thing, no, it's not appealing. Why? I would much rather be at Disneyland going down Thunder Mountain Railroad or through the Haunted Mansion or Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Like I would much rather actually be there, smelling those smells and feeling the wind in your hair.
See, I wouldn't. But see, here's my thing. I wouldn't do any of that. I would be like, "Hey, sorry, like we can't go on Disneyland, go to Disneyland because of the pandemic or whatever. So let's go do something else. Like let's play a board game. Let's play, you know, hide and seek. Let's play a video game. Like don't try to like simulate the experience. You know, it's just
Kid loves Disneyland. Why not though? It doesn't appeal to you, but maybe your kid who's 4 years old is dying to go to Disneyland.
They can fucking wait.
Wow, tough dad.
Jen's like, I'm with you.
I'm with you.
Anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
Go ahead, Jen. What do you got?
just one last little. I don't know if I call it a fun fact or sad fact, but I just read so the average person consumes about like 3,200 calories a day and gets 20 minutes of physical activity.
3,200?
3,200. The average person. The obesity rate has gone up by like 40% in like 10 years.
Yeah.
And over half the population is obese.
That's crazy.
Getting food is much easier than getting to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't even eat 3,000 calories. What the hell?
I mean, I'm pretty close, but I'm not getting 20 minutes of physical activity a day. That's for
Burning
damn.
those calories. You're using those calories.
That's for damn sure.
That's the difference, right? It's like it's
We're
not
becoming
necessarily
Wally.
about the calorie intake. It's what you're doing with those calories that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you can eat 3,000 calories a day, but if you're burning half those calories or whatever, like you're
Well, people are trying to say like, oh, like fruit is bad for you now,
Of
and
course.
vegetables are bad for you because it makes you fat. It's like, no, lack of activity makes you fat.
yes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sayings that's coming up now is like sitting is slowly killing you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like
You told me that.
Seriously, like get off your ass and move a little bit. Like I go to basic physics on this one. You know, a body in motion stays in motion. If you're just sitting on the couch all day, your joints and things, your muscles, everything breaks down. You're not using anything. You're going to become frail and useless. But if you're up, moving, walking, doing activity, playing sports, just doing things, your body is going to be much happier and last much longer. That's basic physics, man.
All this conversation is leading me to believe is that I just want us to like talk about movies in person.
Well, we didn't live in different cities.
Because I feel like I hang out with like I see Brian and Jen more often virtually than in person. Like I've seen Jen twice in person.
Yeah.
Like maybe 3
That
times.
doesn't have a car, so you'll have to come over here.
Yeah, and like one of those times was in another country. Like
I guess I have no excuse now. I forget what I said.
It's like I get these like Zoom meetings are like, yeah, they're the best we can do, but it just doesn't beat the real thing.
That's true. There's nothing better than being in person.
Yeah.
Where I can hug and sneeze on all of you guys.
Word. I can smell your pheromones.
Okay, now you made it weird.
I'm kidding.
I got to go feed my cats.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's a great time for a break. So
Now
absolutely.
that we've depressed everybody.
Yeah, I know we got off tangent with the movie a little bit, so I apologize, but well,
Good topic. I'll go off tangent.
yeah,
It's important, all right? We got to share things, all right? Let people know
yeah,
we have feelings.
I agree.
Yeah, let's take a 5-10er. Let's collect our thoughts and come back with happier faces. Welcome back to Good Flickas, one of the Good Flickas, where we are taking a massive sidestep from missing to address an issue that if you were here moments ago, know that Nick here has no clue what the Monster Mash is. And we're on a mission to find him a happy memory of the Monster Mash in film and cinema. And we have a potential list.
Yeah, so it says you got 5 movies that apparently feature the Monster Mash. 2018 Ghost Stories.
Okay.
2003 The Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
1979 Prophecy.
Okay.
2012 Silver Linings Playbook.
Interesting.
I don't remember that one. And 2017 Wonder.
Okay. Okay. The one I can say for sure that
Oh, it's the Haunted Mansion with Eddie
Haunted
Murphy.
Mansion for sure. Like I know that it's just like playing on the radio or something as they're driving. I think it's at the end, maybe.
Let me look into Silver.
Oh my god. If there's Brian, you actually probably know better than me, but this feels like it would be a song that would show up at Gilmore Girls.
Mm-mm.
No?
I don't
like
remember
in
it.
some sort of ironic way.
I don't remember it showing up in Gilmore Girls. No.
No.
Lorelai, you let me down.
So I mean, I haven't seen any of those movies.
Okay, well, here's a fun one because it's on Disney Plus, and you don't have to watch this for movie clubs. You got all October to watch it. But the 2003 Haunted Mansion, Eddie Murphy.
That's great.
It's a fun one. Like whether it's, I don't think this song is going to be heavily featured in that one, so it's not. But that's a fun movie. Absolutely recommend. Fun movie. What was Silver Linings Playbook? I don't think I've seen that one fully.
Bradley Cooper and
Jennifer Lawrence.
thank you. I was like,
Oh, I have seen that one.
Didn't it win like freaking Best Picture or something? Or was nominated at least? Like, I mean,
definitely not. Oh, I think it did win.
So, I mean, there you go. I think that's at least enough of some sort of recommendation to say that it's probably worth seeing once.
No, I've seen that movie before.
Okay.
So Silver Linings Playbook. I just totally forgot it was that was the movie.
I wonder. I know I haven't seen it, but I'm struggling to remember what that one was. And I feel like it's about, I think it's a kid, right? Like it's.
I haven't seen the other three.
That's the only other one I was like really familiar with. But so yeah, Silver Linings Playbook, I'd say like give it another go. But Haunted Mansion for sure, I would certainly recommend. It's just a fun one, and since it's October, spooky season, fun one.
Spooky season.
But none of them are like missing.
This is true. You know what?
Is that your segue?
That was
Is that your
fantastic
segue?
too,
That
yes.
was a pretty rough one.
Yeah.
You know what though? It was the jolt we needed. Let's get out of our trying to teach the youngin about true culture and the Monster Mash, and talk about missing. Which, speaking of, was missing the song Monster Mash. But
Better. I've got a scene for us.
Yeah, fantastic. Please, thank you.
Okay, let's jump into that.
Titled "It's Lovely Getting to Know You." Lovely spelled Lovly.
The match.com thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the name of the app. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Match.com. It was something else.
It was lovely.
It was lovely.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Weird.
Therefore, it's lovely getting to know you.
It's weirder and weirder the more that I think about like the con of this all, like that app in particular. So like, go on.
I mean, I just enjoyed it because it's like you basically got to see the blossoming of Kevin's and Rachel's. No, I'm sorry, not Rachel. Grace's relationship.
I did that to you, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. Kevin and Grace's relationship, and this is prior to you thinking that Kevin's the bad person, and they almost try to like humanize him, and I mean, it had some, again, moments of comedy in a very eerie thrillerish movie. I actually laughed when on his very first video, he's like so nervous, excited, and just like comes in so hot, like, "Hi, Greg." And then he like catches himself and he's like, I'm sorry, I did not know why I came that loud. And then out of all the questions, so what's your favorite 80s band? I'm like, I mean, that's an intro, I guess. But and then yeah, I just like, I loved as June was like scrolling down, it was kind of like we were all learning together how their relationship came about. So I just thought it was a cool little feature of the movie. Go ahead, Jen.
I have a head scratcher.
Let's hear it.
So he's supposed to be in on this con, right?
Mm-hmm.
How was he able to predict that she would even be on that website in order to actually match with her or get in contact with her? Or how did he even know that she would even respond? I think it's a stretch. Like, it was a risky move on the con man's.
The answer, I mean, it is the gamble, right? It's like, but you have to get into the game some way, and that's an opening. I think that they knew she was on the app because he was clearly hacking information. Like he was on their computers, so he knew she signed up for it.
Good call.
One
Good call.
probably knew exactly what kind of answer she had for whatever stuff. Plus, he knew her personally, so I mean, they were a 97% match, right? So it's like you guys are soulmates, right? Like you're supposed to be basically the perfect matches for each other. And
Perfect.
I think what he did was, like you said, he starts off so genuine and like oh sorry, like and he sold it. He sold it so well of being just kind of like sorry, that's goofy, but and I want to say he brings up the 80s thing because on her profile it says she likes 80s music. So it's just, like a, hey, here's a conversation starter. I see you like 80s music. Who's your favorite band? So like it's innocent enough. It's casual enough. And I wish I could have like paid attention more to like the dates of like how frequent it was that he responded. Because I think he sends one more thing and then he sends a third thing and then she responds or something, or she responds after the second one. But like he's persistent, but not like
Stalker.
Yeah, like he's not overdoing it. He's playing it really slow. It's like it, but he's a con man. So I think that he's doing it just right. And then when he gets the in, it's like, okay, now sell it the rest of the way. And he totally does.
I caught one. I think it was the second was the 25th. The third was the 29th, and she responded.
Okay. So
I think those are the dates.
A few days, right? Like, I mean,
it was days apart. Yes.
Yeah. You got the 3-day rule. He's not doing too much, but at the same time, it's like, hey, I'm just thinking about you. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? Go ahead.
How you doing? I really wanted to believe that, like when they matched and they were messaging each other, that all of that was before, like he got, because he essentially, Kevin essentially got hired by the dad. What was the dad's name?
James.
Yeah, James. Yeah, that sounds right. Because Kevin was hired by James to do all this, but like I sort of wish that like Kevin and Grace had genuinely met on this app before any of that happened, and then that James like saw that they had matched, and then like after the fact hired him. So because I was like, man, I really wish that they did work out, because they seemed like they were great together,
Well,
but
James and Kevin met in prison, so that's out the window.
Was it prison?
Yeah.
Was that like a text message from that was it like Gage website, the like encrypted messaging website?
Doesn't June scream it that she yells it at him like, you met in prison, didn't you? Like,
yeah, she screams at her father.
That's her papa.
Okay, I might have missed that detail, but
it's intense. Yeah. So like it's definitely like a fact that's stated, but it's like there's a lot of stuff happening in the moment.
Yeah. I just like the idea that of them like actually meeting like for real, genuinely, and then like after the fact, like bad stuff happened.
Right.
That's what's so great about this whole scene is it sets up one of the first great fake outs, right? Like this at this point, we're worried about mom because it's like, hey, where the hell are they? They're not here. Like, this is odd. This is strange. And then it's like, okay, he's suspicious. What's going on? Okay, he seems like he's really great. Like what's going? Okay, he loves her. He really loves her. So like, it's a thing. Oh my God, he proposed. Wow. Okay. I get it. He really does love my mom. They're probably like, because I think somebody even says like, if they thought to turn off the location, then they're probably okay. Like, which is a weird statement. But with all of those facts, it kind of puts in the thought process like now they're trying to be romantic and discreet because they just got engaged and they're on vacation. Like I don't know. There's a lot of ways you can rationalize it. but it really builds up this romance to where you're like, oh my God, he really is this great guy. To when you find out, like, no, he's this horrible con man, and like, no, he is a really bad guy. Like, wow, no, he's a really, really bad guy. Like, it really flips on you, and they already make you think he's a bad guy. They convince you that he's a great guy, and then reality slams you again. And they did such a great job of telling that romance and making us feel the anxiety and then like relief and then dread again. And like it's the rise and fall. Such a good job with these fake outs. And this was one of the bigger ones where the tone of this movie almost changed from like, this is a thriller to, oh wow, now it's just an odd rom-com. But wait, there's more.
Mm.
And then it turns on you again. Like they did a good job of changing the tone of this movie. And I think that's where the benefit of the music comes in, where they didn't rely on, just app sounds and clickety clacks. And, they have an actual score to this, and it changes the tone because we're seeing exactly what they want us to see. And sound matters, right? Music matters.
Mm-hmm.
It changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a really, really good job of it, especially in this scene. I don't know whose hand went up first.
It was me. So another scene to kind of segue off of this is the lock, the scene, the love lock, from the hardware store. This was brilliantly planned to make us believe that when June searches, when June has Javier search like hardware stores with the receipt to find out like what was purchased and whatnot, and we find out it's a lock, we assume the worst, right? Like that Grace has been killed and she's like locked in a chest or like a freezer or whatever. But no, we find like the fake out happens.
Wow, what's
What?
a chest or a freezer?
Well, I don't know.
It just
A lot
that
of
just
things
threw me-
could have been locked in. Those are all equally
It
plausible.
just threw me off, Nick. It was just like polar opposite.
I mean, like, but very like viable things to
Very viable.
It's like I know those things too well. But I love that we find out that like that the lock was actually used for like the most romantic thing possible.
Right.
Like you can't get any more romantic with the lock over other than like Love Lock. Was it Love Lock Bridge or something?
Call it that, sure.
Yeah, over on Lovelock Bridge, where like they have their initials and they attach it, and we're like, oh, like this means like they love each other, and nothing bad happened, and then he proposed to her like over the city like live cams and all that. I just thought that was so brilliantly done. Like talk about like another fake out, like a perfect con man thing to do. I know Jem is next. Brian, did you have a response to that, or can Jen go?
Oh no, Jen can go. I have a head scratcher for the scene.
Okay.
Oh, I was just curious to hear what were your guys' like predictions with like what was going on. Like for me, I honestly kept thinking it was going to be like a tough love lesson and mommy was teaching her how to respect.
Whoa, that would be fucked up. Like, talk about a prank.
I was so off. Well, especially because like you see the Lovelock Bridge, right? And it's like it's showing all these positive things. And so I was like, okay, they're playing, like they're just like, you're gonna learn. But that wasn't the case. So I was way off the mark. So I'm just curious to know, what were your guys' predictions?
At one point, I was curious if like the mom was somehow like a freaking secret agent type of thing, and like this was all part of some weird crazy thing. Like I mean, I could not predict where this movie was going to go, because every time I thought I got a hook of what was happening, they're like, no, we twist. Like it kept hitting me with the, but wait, there's more. There's one more thing. There's, but you forgot this. Hey, wait, what's that other word? Like it never stopped being, there's this other weird thing, this other weird thing. It's not quite right. So yeah, I that was one where I was like, if she's like a secret agent, maybe like she is, like it's tough love, like she's trying to, like it's all some weird training exercise or some craziness. I don't know. It just because at certain points I'm like, this is just weird. Like it's realistic, but weird. What is happening? Go ahead, Brian.
I had at first I thought, all right, we've got your classic American tourist abduction. Like that's what I went with first. I was like, I mean, you're traveling in Colombia, like this is it was a plausible theory. And then I'm like, well, no, that's not working anymore. And so then my second one was like, it's the church guy. Church guy's dirty. He's in that little hideaway area. And then I just didn't pin it that it was church guy equals dad. But then after that, I'm like, even then I was at one point I think I was like, oh, maybe it's not the church guy. Well, now and at that point I'm like, I give up. I don't I'm at a loss on who it is. Like I'm running out of suspects. For all I know, it's the kid that wants his watch back.
Angel.
Oh my god.
But we were talking about the lock scene. I do have it's a fun little head scratcher. Javi,
Nick's prediction. Nick, what did you think?
Wait, what?
What did you think?
If I thought that the mom was like playing a tough love prank on her. Is that what you're asking?
Any prediction?
Just like, what was your prediction of what was going on?
With what?
Oh my god, the movie, dude. Like what we were talking about. Was there anything at any point, did the movie be like, oh, this is what's happening? I think it's this. Oh, this person did it. Did you have any predictions throughout the movie?
Okay. Sorry, I thought we were talking about something specific. But in terms of like a who done it sort of thing, I thought it was Kevin Lynn that the whole time that was doing something with her. I mean, he's primary suspect, and that the mom was actually taken hostage or against her will or whatever. The thought of like, oh, the mom do like a tough love thing with her daughter never crossed my mind at all. Like I was taking this pretty seriously. Yeah, I guess that's my
a
thought.
wild stretch, Jen.
Pranked. You just got pranked. You got punked. Punk ass kid just got punked.
So yeah, just a quick fun little head scratcher. Javi sent to go to this bridge to see if he can find the lock, right? Any rough estimate as how long it took him to find this lock on the bridge?
It was pretty instant.
But yes, movie, it was instant. But if I told you to go to a locked bridge and try to find one specific one, how long do you think it takes?
Okay.
Well, he knew what the lock looked like beforehand.
Yes.
A lock looked like
a generic gold lock. I gave it an hour.
Covered in dozens and dozens and dozens and hundreds of that same generic lock.
Double-sided.
Yeah.
I gave it at least an hour.
I said I think that's short for a time.
It probably is. Anyway, okay.
There's the benefit of like, it's going to be at least somewhere on the top of things. You don't have to go digging through too much.
Right.
But you've got, like you said, both sides, and it's like up and down. if he was lucky, I mean, maybe he got lucky and started at the middle thinking like this is the most romantic spot.
Maybe.
It's possible he gets lucky, but at the same time, who knows what Javi's thinking? The guy is best friends with this girl from the United States that he befriended over a tragedy.
Oh well, she could have told him whereabouts because of the video camera. That might have saved time.
She didn't know that
So
until
at that point, did she?
yeah, she found Javi, or she looked where Javi was after he had found the lock.
Yeah.
Because she's like, "Hey, Javi, wave at me." Okay, great. I now know that I can see you. Let's backdate this and figure out where.
Oh, that's right. Okay, never mind. Let me take it back.
Actually, see, and those are the little details that I like, where it's she doesn't figure it out so quickly that like she just doesn't have that answer immediately.
Right.
It's got to have that realization, because we don't all just instantly have the answers, and it's great how this one plays out like that, where she gets a clue. Oh yeah, that realization. Oh yeah, that realization. Did a good job with it, balancing it out, and it's fun.
Well, and I'll just say to Brian too that yes, it would take a long time to look for that lock, but I think just for the sake of the movie and the playtime, like, are we gonna really sit there and watch a montage of him watching it? Like,
I wasn't nitpicking, Nick. That's not
you
easy
were
to
head
say.
scratching.
No, yeah, it was. I was just having fun, poking fun. Like, you know, if this was like a real mission, like, you know, just how long do we think he's spending time there?
I want see, now I want an edit of that scene where it's like crossfade clips with like a clock, you know, like going from corner to corner, and it's like you see it like ticking, like the minute hand is going really fast, and it's like crossfading between him looking at different parts of the of the bridge. It'd be totally unnecessary, but just for my own benefit.
He sees like it's like an identical gold lock, and it has the 3 out of 4 initials that he's looking for, and he's like, damn.
Yeah, I need J and L, not J and K, like or whatever.
Search from hell.
Or G and K.
I mean, while we're on the topic, Javi, man, just saving the day. Saving the day. How did he only have 2.83 out of 5 stars is beyond me, but
yeah.
I mean, come on. That guy was awesome. Like, from right off the get-go, you're like, I like you. I got a thing for trusting people, and I like you. You could just tell. He's just like, I'm here to help, whatever I can do. And there was like nothing that he was saying no to. He's like, you need me to go to freaking 6 stores and buy packs of gum? I'm your man. I got you.
Look at my name on here.
What?
My name on the chat. Look at it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like he's the goat.
He is the goat.
But I just thought he was just incredibly helpful in this situation. Number one.
Yeah, I love his accent.
Yeah, man. No, Javi is the best. Like the guy works for $8 an hour.
Yeah. Was it 8? I thought it was like 10 or 12, but still.
$8 an hour.
$8 an hour. It may stretch a little farther in Colombia, but
still. I mean, it's look what he was willing to do once he understood of like why she was calling, and like, because I mean, he was quick to drop her of like, that's not what I do. Like, I'm cleaning and stuff. Like, that's
right.
He so quickly is like, okay, and understanding he's getting paid $8 an hour to do all of this. Like, that's I think a fact that's easy to forget, is like his heart goes a long way at the very beginning of this, of just trying to do whatever he can to help. And then when it gets to the point of, you know, like it's done, that the first day is over of her being able to pay, she can't do anymore. Like, he continues to help, and I'm pretty sure she's not getting to pay him unless at that point like the government's involved, and she's got money or something and she's able to spend it on and pay for him. I don't know, but that's not a detail that matters. He's still being kind enough to offer any help possible. And they share personal details. Like they form a real bond. I think Brian, you have something to say, but
No, it was Nick.
So yeah, he essentially became like a field investigator for $8 an hour.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. It's crazy to me.
I mean, that dude went across and all over town. Like you said, he bought how many packs of gum just to figure out like who it was, like where it was purchased, and like this is the place. Like,
yeah,
he did a lot. He was willing to do a lot, and I mean, no questions asked either. It's like, yeah.
So you mentioned Grace and the money, right? So I'm sorry, June and the money. Grace sent $350. This is a nitpick that I had. She only sent $350. Grace spent way more than $350, and I was just wondering how she was able to. I don't think they did the details to figure out proper expenses here, but right off the bat, it was like 120 for her apple juice, and you didn't catch. Did you catch it on Venmo?
Yeah.
Was she called it?
No, they did pictures. It was like emojis of the juice boxes.
But it was for alcohol, right?
But it was for alcohol. But she's like, yeah, it's for. I'm like, oh, that's believable, June. $120 on apple juice. And then like there were, the TaskRabbit and like there are just all these expenses that she was doing, and she was throwing like a ton of money out on all these parties. And although they were super quick, I'm like, that's you've blown past 350 already. So that was just a subtle nitpick of mine where I'm like, make it a believable dollar amount at least.
Well, the mom wasn't preparing for her to have parties with alcohol. Like that's not what the money was supposed to be used for.
No, I'm now nitpicking the actual writers of the movie. I'm 100% fine with Grace giving her 350.
Yeah.
I'm saying that the expenses that June did, basically what the writers wrote in, just it superseded the 350 almost twofold.
I think the parties was 150 and the second one was 120.
Yeah, so right off the bat, you're at 270.
Yeah, I caught that too. And
and I'm like, oh, okay, so this 350 is gone in 3 seconds.
And then 48 for the housekeeping, which that was real smart.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was my head scratcher. Is our kids going to start using TaskRabbit for party cleanup? Like, is that going to be like a real life thing that's going to happen now?
You know it is.
Legit.
In defense of writers, like, think about this. She threw a party at her place. So what kind of money is she getting back for all those people drinking the booze that she is providing?
Oh, you make a good point, like a cover fee. Yeah,
like, I mean, I know most, like, I mean, when I was in high school, it was BYOB essentially, like, but you'd split cases with people. I mean, you don't do any of that.
Underage drink.
But I mean, college, you go to a party, you dropped however much money for a cup and you filled up, man. Like, it's one of those kind of things. So
it could be
paid to be. You paid a little for having the alcohol there provided, and a cool place to do it. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's not a bad theory. I think it's wrong. It's not a bad theory though.
Is TaskRabbit a real website?
Yeah,
it's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing. 100%.
I think that everybody, like, all of the apps and things that are involved in this, especially like the real ones. I mean, look at how many brands. I mean, they had ABC, like they had news, like they had all kinds of branding in this.
Yeah, they did.
Everybody wanted to be involved because it's all to show like this is available and it's helpful, it's information, it's good for you kind of thing, right? Like this is good advertising for what they're capable of and what they're providing. it shows all of these things in a positive light. So I think that's why they're able to have all of those name brands of things, because and to add that validity to it, because they want to show you, yes, this is real and we can do that.
Right. I'm telling you, so many people like high schoolers are just like game changer.
Could you imagine if they remade Ferris Bueller's Day Off with this kind of thing? Like,
oh my god,
how awesome
do
would
it.
that be? But also, wow.
Ugh. No.
I think I just pitched a great idea. So if anybody heard it and you guys see this advertised in the next year, it's mine.
I mean, think of how many times we had episodes of TV shows or movies where they throw a great party and the cleanup is the thing that always burns them.
Yeah.
It's like TaskRabbit just erased that whole plot line. It's gone.
Yeah.
I still like though is always the parents showing up early.
Oh, I love that one.
Oh my god,
like,
yeah.
Or the parents forgot something.
Oh god, that was freaking. I mean, that's been done in so many good ways too.
Right.
Party's ruined. Oh god, now we got to figure out what to do. Or I don't know. I like when the parents come home early, because it's that kind of surprise where, like, even if TaskRabbit is a thing, you never had a chance to use it.
Correct.
Right? Like, there's no way getting out of it. Like, it's okay, you're stuck in this position. You can't get your way out. Like, that's what I like. Yes, there's options now where, like, you can do this whole big like cleanup thing, but then you lose that opportunity of like them opening up the pantry and just like Solo cups falling out, right? Like, it's you take away such good comedy that's classic and good for a reason.
Yeah.
Don't ruin classic gags with stupid things like apps, people. The internet.
Well, there's an app for everything nowadays. It's like, take the fun out of it all.
Get out and do things for yourself, people.
Get out and touch grass.
Rig a trophy to turn the volume up on your stereo so it sounds like you're snoring and sleeping when your mother comes home to surprise you, to check on you.
Perfect.
That's what's good.
We need tangible, physical comedy.
And then have your older sister come charging into your bedroom and break your little setup that you had.
She's the best.
I do have another nitpick. This one isn't. This one irks me, and it's because of my personality and who I am. I was cringing inside watching June's note taking. It just, the disorganized, dysfunctional stickies everywhere was just like, it was eating at me. I'm like, oh my God, June, categorize them. And their color too. So please make it yellow is Kim, pink is your mom. You can easily make this to, like, she was like opening up one sticky and typing up one line, opening up one sticky, typing up one line. I'm like, this is torture. This is what torture is all about. Like, I could have rearranged that desktop to where she would have had 4 stickies and the crime would have been solved. But again, that's just because I'm crazy and I like organized things. And I admit that. I'm just wondering if anyone else shared my agony in the clusterfuck of stickies on her desktop. Oh, double hands.
But
think
that was
that's
right at the same time.
So excited.
No, Jen.
Yeah.
Jen had the flip up, and then you had the
straight up. Yeah.
The flip just kind of caught my attention first.
No, I'm with you, bro. I think she had way too many tabs, like in general. Like, I can't keep up with this girl. She's too quick. I mean, it was very skillful. I will say that I couldn't. I don't think I could do that. But yeah, I get it. I pictured it as like the modern day sticky on the wall, where all of a sudden your wall is covered in 100 stickies with like one name.
And you've got the yarn, and you're trying to figure it out.
Text the people to the other people that may know each other. Yeah.
Right.
but it was on a desktop, which makes it just chaotic.
Her computer looks like an Apple commercial where like they have all these windows and then like the fancy art, like graphic design, and then like a little like FaceTime call, and then like a little window for email, and then like, you know, like it just and anytime they like when Apple shows a commercial for their laptops, I'm like, there's too much going on your screen. Like just do one thing at a time. Like just focus on one thing and then minimize that and open another thing. But when you have everything all over the fucking place, it's too much. And so like with the sticky notes, the stickies specifically, I think there was a moment when like she clicks on the app, like the stickies app, and then like you see all the stickies go like on the screen. And I was like, whoa. Like that's too many. Put those away. like as if like Spider-Man like webbed a wall and it's like, you know. Yeah, I'm with you on it. Away.
You gotta buy me dinner first.
Yeah, because girls like, hey, you want to see my stickies? Whoa.
Did you guys catch at one point?
That's so stupid.
To quote unquote type notes, and then towards the end, she wrote STFU. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
I don't think so.
When her mom was telling
her mom just kept talking and everything.
Aren't you gonna write this down?
Oh.
Yeah, she's typing random letters.
Type, and then she actually wrote, oh my god, you need to STFU.
Yeah.
A lot of use.
Yeah, a lot of use.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What else do I have?
And then it said like that I don't get IDGAF.
There you go. Yeah. IDGAF.
So we can see you use that one a lot.
I do all the time.
I was suspicious of Heather at a certain point. Like,
else
like a little bit. Like, I didn't like her from the start. With the first moment that she gets there and she's checking in, I'm like, it's just like she gave off a vibe that I just didn't like. And then she got more and more suspicious. And then when you find out who she actually is, I was like, oh God, that's horrible. Like she's been there to protect them the whole time. Like it's devastating. But like I really thought that she was in on it or she was bad. And
so I was kind of the same where I'm like, why don't I like this person as much as I should, right? Mm-hmm. And then I actually wrote down, and I still don't know if I have the full answer on this one, is shouldn't Heather have been more worried or suspicious the minute she found out that her June's mom never returned? She knew about the history. I mean, if I knew someone had to drop their identity, change their identity, drop their life and move to all this, and I'm doing it for you pro bono and everything, which is, you saw it on the email. And then all of a sudden I find out that person is now missing. I'm pretty sure I have a head start as to what I think is going on here. Yet she didn't seem worried or suspicious or anything. And I think that kind of threw me off a little bit. Go ahead, Nick.
I think this was just one of the many fake outs that the writers included in the film. They wanted her to not seem like it was urgent, to make you think that she was in on it.
It's possible.
Yeah, like that's the only thing I can think of.
Like focus on the right hand and you'll miss what the left hand does.
There's that issue where she's being blackmailed by James, right? But we don't know what that blackmail is,
right?
Or how long it's been going on. So it's the problem of they give us enough information to know like what it is and why it was working, but not what it truly is and for how long. We don't actually get any details from it. We just know blackmail and eventual murder.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of my problem of like I want to know more of what it was that they were blackmailing her with, in the sense of how could it have been so powerful that would not she would not put more effort in, right? Like, I mean, I think the only reason it escalated as quickly as it did was because of June's efforts. And I mean, you would think that she would be so much more driven, right? She would this or she actually just knows who it is from the beginning and she could have said something, and why wouldn't she? Why
Mhm.
wouldn't she have found a way to do something? Like how long was it going on? It's God, it's a good writing technique of here's enough information that leaves you wanting more. Always leave them wanting more, right?
Right.
Frustrating because those are details are like this could be so important to this character and what happened, but ultimately it's not necessary to June's story. It's just the facts that you need to know that leads to the next moment.
And that all you really needed to know was that, yeah, she was just trying to protect her the whole time.
She was trying.
Like that was her sole purpose.
You guys just want to talk about the last scene?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's other important big stuff in the middle of the movie.
There's so much that happens.
I mean, there's so much, but it's like, is it really worth talking about? Like,
well, we've covered a decent amount of it, that's for sure.
I think we've
yeah.
Because I just kind of want to unpack the post James being killed and all that stuff. And so he's done, and now they're in the room. Yes, Jen.
Is it weird to say I like how he died?
What do you mean?
Like his.
He was like trying to.
It was great. Yeah, that's not weird at all.
Like he was trying to spell out hospital, and then and then you see it just, what is it, space?
Yeah. Because he had his head basically hit the space bar.
Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah. And well, that and you could hear like he's gasping for air, and then all of a sudden it's just silence. I'm like, oh, that's such a great use of sound. But so this is post all of that going on, and so now we're back in. We've got the girls. They're in the room. Sarah, she's Sarah now, I guess, or Grace. I don't know what to call her, to be honest. She's been shot and wounded. And here we go. We've got the now I'm starting to feel guilty. I gotta say sorry to mom. Please don't leave me, mom. I'm not ready for you. And then she's just going, and then she says, I'll even stop making fun of you for using Siri for absolutely everything.
Okay, I thought that was a little cheesy. Not gonna lie.
Really?
But it was necessary.
It's a weird thing to say.
But it was the triggering memory for her, to where she's like using Siri for everything. Wait a sec. I saw them. I saw this room on my computer. And so then she just went obviously and says, hey Siri, and all. Now I do have some questions. Like the first time I saw this again, I was like, oh shit, that's cool. Like it was, and I mean, in the start of our thing, it worked. I didn't mean to trigger Nick's Siri, but somehow I did. Right? So it's like, and I'm in freaking San Ramon and he's in Sacramento. So it does work apparently. Now, what's funny is I try to do my own damn Siri. She won't listen to me for shit. But someone in Sacramento, they'll listen to me. That's great. But I have some questions on this. So she connects Hey Siri call. Oh, I'm not going to do that in case mine does. We know what she says.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's going to connect and it's going to make the phone call. But the dispatcher, a few things. Will the dispatcher be able to hear June through the computer, through the phone? Or at best, are we thinking the dispatcher tracks the call? Okay, the call's coming from this home. They show up. They see what's going on the computer. If her computer hasn't died, and then they are able to trace it back to where they're actually.
Well,
Do
the
you see what I'm
computer
saying?
would be
Like,
connected.
I just have some questions about the because June is not going to be able to hear the dispatcher at all. That's impossible.
Let's do a live test.
But
Call
so
Nick.
I'm wondering, does June just keep saying repetitively, "We are being held at blah blah blah. We are being held at blah blah blah. We are being like on just a repetitive note to where the dispatcher's like, okay, something's we have an abduction here. Let's send the units out there. It's just multiple possibilities. I just want to throw it to you guys.
I'm sure she screams out her names as well at times, but I mean, like, it's just that information over and over again because she knows her laptop's going to die soon. So it's
Mhm.
if you just repeat it, they have to respond, right? Like they'd have to be like, if, if Siri can hear it, then I'm sure it can be heard on the phone.
That's what I was thinking too.
You just repeat the information as much as possible to where like they've got it written down, they've got it tracked, and it's like, okay, worst case scenario, they send out a patrol person, and it's like, okay, they'd find out what happened and they send more people, right?
Mhm.
They'll send somebody. That's a suspicious call of somebody screaming names and date and addresses, right? Like, go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
So I'm trying to figure out. So June is saying "Hey S" through the CCTV that's in the bedroom, right? Which is then connected to like a software on the dad's computer, which is then connected to the um, the virtual screen of June's computer.
But June is
Right.
logged into the security camera account
On her laptop.
on her laptop. She's logged into their security cameras.
Right, but that's being seen through James's computer because he's spying on her computer. So it's going through like at least two different like pieces of technology to get to the Siri on her computer
I
or
think
phone.
I see where you're going with this.
So the problem that I see with this is that June would have to give more information because like if a dispatcher is using the phone number or like the location of the phone or whatever, they're just going to go back to June and Grace's house. That's not where they're at. They're at a different location. You know, so I'm curious on like how the communication through like several different pieces of technology and like internet connections. You know, there's a lot of like IP addresses and like device addresses and like location addresses and stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm just curious how that would work out if she actually did get a hold of a dispatcher. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, think about it this way. I mean, you're the dispatcher, you're getting this distress call that's coming from a phone that's in one location, and they're telling you that they are in another location. Like, that's suspicious, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when the address that you're hearing, you just had patrol people leave because she is the daughter of a missing person. Like that, that not suspicious that you are hearing that they are saying that they're at a different address? Like, I mean, no matter what the dispatcher hears, as long as it's the information of who they are and where they currently are at, that's all that matters. They're going to send somebody out because of simply the names that are being said, and like you said, the information is odd and suspicious, but also getting IP addresses and all that is going to take more time than just sending people out there.
Yeah. Well, because I know like when you do call 911, the first thing that one of the first things they ask you is where are you? Like what's your location?
Exactly.
And then as soon as you give them that location, they will automatically send patrol to that location and then still continue to talk to you. It's not like, okay, thank you for your call, and then they send them out. Like that's not how they do it.
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm sure when they realize like she's just repeating the same information, she's not giving new information, they would, I mean, they're listening to that thing as long as possible to track where its location is, right?
Yeah.
Like seeing if they can do a backwards thing through the computer system tracking IPs. Like, I mean, as however long the connection is, whether she can hear them or not, like as you don't hang up that phone until it's. There's a whole show about this, starring Jennifer Love Hewitt. There's a whole show about this. Like it's, yeah, they no matter what is happening on the other end, that first responder is doing anything they can, and yeah, they're definitely asking questions. But if they're not getting answers to those questions, it's probably a safe conclusion that like they can't hear what those questions are. So what's next step? How do I find them? How do I get them to hear me?
You know how many times I've gone on a call and I've heard the paramedics are here?
I don't know the difference.
No.
Same.
I'm saying, do you get what I'm referring to?
No.
They're still on the phone with them. And so I'm boosting your point. It's like I hear it all the time. We go in the field and they're like, okay, the paramedics are here, and then they hang up.
First responder, yeah, somebody's here. Okay,
yes.
now somebody can actually help you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stay on the line.
I did have just kind of like one thing to bring up because I don't think we've really talked about it. But it's the twist of finding out that Grace Allen had this whole identity change. I mean the whole like, you know, the internet blows up and the news media covers this story, like that gets viral. But then like when they start throwing like, oh, is Grace Allen really Grace Allen? Like,
right.
Like then we start to think like she might be a bad person, right, herself, because like she went through, you know, like she's not being true to her current identity.
Yeah. Did Grace Allen just become the prime suspect for her own abduction?
Yeah, like did she kidnap herself essentially? Right. Like we've heard those stories before plenty of times, and it's like it's an amazing plot twist. And then it's like a secondary plot twist to the same plot twist when you find out that no, she changed her identity to get away from James, right? And I'm like, oh shit, like they had us thinking that she was the bad guy, and then like, oh, now she's going back to being the good guy. Like she went from good guy to bad guy to good guy. And she hasn't even been in 80% of the movie. like that's like, it's just crazy to me how like just how the media and, you know, how like investigations work to like, you know, you learn new information and like the story changes about a person. Yeah, I thought that whole sequence it was played out perfectly. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, the part of the movie that you're talking about, I've titled "Drug Busted Big Time," and I absolutely love this part. It's the total callback to the beginning of the movie, where at first I don't know if you guys thought it, but when you're looking over the home video and then the screen and everything, I thought that was June's computer in the beginning, and then they call back and it turns out to be, oh shit, that's actually Sarah/Grace doing all this stuff. And then you get more detail and you hear the call and you hear how crazy, how just absolutely diabolical James is. And then you hear how she set him up for his possession of drugs. And all of a sudden it all just comes together nicely as to Oh, that's what I was watching in the beginning. Well, I thought I was watching the final chapter of a father who just died due to meningitis and a bunch of other head traumas and whatnot. It turns out I was watching someone deleting their entire life because they don't want to be found by someone that they set up for possession of drugs. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about pulling the rug from underneath my feet. Bravo, because that's exactly what happened.
This movie does a great job of that.
Yeah.
So many twists and turns. This is it's a good mystery. It's a good modern mystery. But
As far as quotes, this isn't a quotable movie. I only wrote one, and it's because it cracked me up. Did anyone have read any quotes or no?
I think there was one part of the movie that did make me laugh.
Oh yeah, this
I
quote.
wonder if it's that quote.
This quote killed me. It's when Rachel Page has already been caught. She's being interviewed by whoever, like some news anchor, and the news anchor says, "No camera crew, no anyone watching you film, like nothing." And that wasn't suspicious to you at all. And Rachel says, "I just thought, damn, this guy has a vision."
so
That's wild to me.
That was brilliantly funny.
I love this line. I do remember that one. That is a good one. And it's because it's so funny and ridiculous, but what's scary.
Go ahead.
Well, no, what's just so scary about it is like he's a con man, and the accuracy of it, of he really did have this vision.
Right.
It's working. Like the dark irony of it, but also just the comedy of like this woman sounding like such a ditz. Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah.
I didn't believe her story at all. I think she's guilty as charged, and she's part of the con, and she knew exactly what she was doing.
I think so too.
I think she's full of it. She's trying to save her own ass.
I think she just wanted fame. She just wanted.
Yeah, she's trying to make it big in Hollywood.
Yeah, like just to be infamous, and yeah.
I also love how it's like one of the biggest tropes in movies, also, and in real life, where if you go to like a foreign country and you say you're from California, they always say Hollywood. Oh, Hollywood.
Somebody was just saying that to me the other day.
And then even like when she meets Javi, she's like, "Oh, Hollywood," and then she corrects him. It's like, "No, I forgot where she was. San Fernando, was that it?"
Van Nuys.
Matt,
I'm Van Nuys.
Van Nuys. That's what it was.
Oh, Van Nuys. Yeah.
I just love that finally they addressed that. Just like, stop calling us Hollywood.
Like, oh, you know Arnold Schwarzenegger, or like, yeah.
And we get tea on Tuesdays.
Reminds me of Hocus Pocus.
Hollywood. That's what I was thinking too.
Yes, Hollywood.
Share a butt.
Where'd you get those shoes, Hollywood?
Check out the cross trainers. Man, that's going to be a fun one to watch this year. But does anybody have anything else for this movie? I feel like we covered a lot. This was there's a lot going on in this movie. I don't think you can cover all of it in one.
It's a quick moment I wrote down. I just love my title for it. I'll try to land it for you guys. She never saw my sign.
Oh, is this the airport?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I hit the tone right. I don't think I did.
What song are you trying to sing?
Yeah.
I saw the sign.
Matt got it.
Opened up my eyes, and I am happy now living without. Yeah.
She never saw my sign. I tried. Anyway, it's just
I-
cool way it was shot. And then just she looks so devastated.
Well, I like that it's done live, right? Like this,
Yeah.
it's her doing. I think she doing a live feed or is she?
I think it was like
Yes.
Instagram Live or something
Yeah.
like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, she's there for a long time, and it's like
But it was like live and then speed thing, right?
it faded. It like time faded a bit. Like
Yeah.
but I liked that it showed that she did this for a long time, and like it made sense for why she would have her camera open for this moment, right?
Mhm.
She's going live, she's doing a video, whatever, because
She's got her sign, welcome back from prison.
Yeah,
like
right.
it was the whole gag and everything.
Well, there's even like a tease of it earlier where she's looking at a video where it's welcome back to from rehab or whatever. And
Right.
like it's so she's like, oh yeah, I saw that thing. So she has the idea. So I liked it. I thought it was a fun thing, but also it gets sad and devastating very quickly.
Yeah, it does.
Why is she always in her pajamas, like out in public?
Why is
It's
she
like she's
always
about
on
to go to
the-
Walmart.
I mean, a lot of people are.
Yeah, man.
So weird.
Kids go to school or kids go to high school in pajamas nowadays. It's disgusting.
Like for pajama day during Spirit Week, sure, but like as a regular thing,
Oh, hygiene,
no.
children, get your shit together.
Yeah, seriously.
Wear real fucking pants. If I could wear
People just want to be
sweatpants all day,
comfortable.
man.
I'd want to, but I can't. I didn't want to wear pants all day. I don't you think I'd want to, but I can't.
Yeah, you don't want to be Chandler and wearing your sweats all day long. Like, come on.
Gross. Anyway,
All right.
anything to add?
No, who won? What's in this one?
In the movie. I mean, for me it's June. Just that's it. I mean, as far as like the style artistry, the filmmaking of this, absolutely huge shout out. Secondary, like the storytelling is really, really good. It's not my style of movie because it's hard to watch, but it doesn't mean I can't appreciate it. It's done very, very well. So that's the runner up. But June, she's absolutely fantastic. For her to be acting on or essentially webcams, security cameras and stuff, she brought every bit of emotion and it came through. So when she was on screen, she owned it, and phenomenal job for a young actress.
She kind of reminds me of Zendaya.
Dare you? There's only one Zendaya. She is oh gosh, Storm Reed, right?
Storm Reed, yeah.
She is Storm Reed. Storm is a cool name too. It's not a one name like, Zendaya or Madonna or Cher or Rock. You don't count the.
All right. Nick, who won?
I was just kidding.
Editing. Next.
Wow.
Okay. Nice and quick. John, who won?
I think all the twists to the movie. If somebody was like, "Oh, have you seen that movie you missing?" It's gonna just like all the twists.
That's a good one.
Take it back.
Yeah.
I think it's Jen letting us know that Guy was in Rush Hour. That's what wins this movie.
That's pretty good.
Blowing my mind that
I know. I did not catch that at all.
Wait, who is in Russia? What?
the con man.
Kevin?
Kevin.
Oh, yeah. He was in Russia. Yeah. This is
He's the bad man in
He's a
Rush Hour.
minion. Oh, did you catch that? Can it make that? Like he's a minion, Kevin.
You think do you think someone walked up to him and said, "Wipe yourself off, you're bleeding"?
Cold line, bro. Cold line.
All right. This is just a wonderful talk, guys. I knew we were gonna do a hard deep dive on this one. Runner up, Javi. Just you have to like him. the movie won't work if you don't like Javi, because you have to believe that this random stranger who is a country away, like countries away and miles away from June, is helping her this much. It's just yeah, runner up for him. But I'm with Nick on this one. The winners, the editors, just a beautifully pieced together film with transitions and that are just super smooth and quick little moments that just make your jaw drop, and just the flow of sound to go with everything. Just really, really good stuff. The editors did not have an easy job, and they executed this one flawlessly. Matt, you had some?
I don't remember. It's all good.
Oh, I just said Javi, and then you raised up your hand.
No, I seriously, I don't remember. So,
oh well,
I am tired.
There it is.
I know we're all tired, and this was a late one. Like, I appreciate everybody sticking it out. But no, I think that's it. I think that wraps it up for this one, guys. We really did do a good dive on this one. There's a lot to cover. Like, this is a heavy, deep movie with a lot of information. And we certainly dove head first into this, but anything to add? We all done with this one? I think we can wrap this one up and call it a night.
Great. I mean, I'll just say that it was Brian and I that had the similar scores, the same scene of the movie and the same thing that won. So
you know what? It's a trifecta. You guys are soulmates. It's a 97% match. I think you should make out.
Lovely.
Yeah. If there's nothing else, I say that is a wrap on Missing. This was a great chat, guys. Fantastic. Deep dive. For all of those out there watching, listening to us, check us out on Instagram at good.flickas. Give us a follow and a like. Check us out on YouTube at GoodFlickas, where you can see some of our past episodes. We should have some new ones up soon. So be on the lookout for some new episodes. And you can always watch us here live on Mondays at Twitch TV, GoodFlickas. Yeah. And send us emails. Give us some advice or just a nice thank you, love you, hey, what's up? Kind of whatever you can at our email account, which is goodflickas2020@gmail.com. Sorry, I feel like I'm rambling and my mouth is starting to dry out. But this was a great chat, guys. Give us a like, give us a follow, tell us some good things, give us some feedback. Yeah, I think next week's pick, I think I'm gonna stick with it. So yeah, next week's pick is going to be The Adjustment Bureau, streaming on Netflix. Now, okay, Brian, because you're reacting, have you seen this movie before?
I have.
Okay, stop right there. Jen, Nick, have either of you seen this movie before?
No, but the title sounds boring.
It's fine. Here's what I will say for this one. If you watch the trailer, let me know when we get going. If you don't watch the trailer, that's fine. It's just whether you watch it or not, let me know. Talk to me about that one on when we get back to it. But that's cool. That's what it's gonna be. It's a little bit different. So hopefully everybody enjoys it. Brian, since you've seen it, I'm curious, like, you seem like it, would you think that it fits somewhat within the October theme?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then I feel justified in this. I
mean, if I'm thinking of the right movie, I'm just gonna go with one word, and Doors comes to mind.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Then definitely.
Yeah.
Doors. Sorry.
Then definitely.
You're not psyching Nick up, and that's fine. What I can say is it stars Matt Damon and Emily Blunt. So
that's who it was. I was trying to think of the female.
Yeah, Matt Damon and Emily Blunt. There's other people in there that you'll recognize. But just, yeah, that's what it's going to be. The Adjustment Bureau on Netflix. And that will be our next pick for Ominous October. Wraps it up for Missing. Thank you all for joining us. Give us a like and a follow. And Brian, send us out of here.
Good Flickas fans, we love you. Thanks for hanging out with us. I don't know.
Just keep it sweet, bud.
It sounds like you're missing your outro
I
right
always
now.
choke under pressure. Jesus.
You were like, hey Siri, close us for us.
Yeah. Oh God, Jen's got us.
No, not that one. I did have one. Hang on. Damn it. When I'm gonna Nick edit this out.
We're doing it live.
I'm gonna play in slow motion now.
You should zoom in on him at this point. Just like his
like
cracking
like-
under pressure, stressed out face of like, oh God, what was
like right now I'll be on
Okay,
his
I got
nose. Like just on his nose.
Good Flickas fans, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We love you. Make sure you change your passwords. And kids, clear your voicemails. Your moms love you. We'll see you next week.